Global Eco Energy are your renewable energy specialists. Working with Eco4 and Home Energy Scotland to offer grants and funding, we specialise in heat pump, solar and battery installations, as well as internal, external and cavity wall insulation. Prices starting from as little as £4,995 for solar PV and from £8,995 for a heat pump installation. For a free quote, free survey and to find out more about grants and funding options, call 0800 233 5788.
The Go Radio Football Show with Global Eco Energy. For your free energy home survey and bespoke quote, call 0800 233 5788.
Let's go!
Good afternoon from me, Paul Cooney. The snow started this morning. It's gone off at the moment. The game is on at 12:30 and it's Celtic against Rangers for the second time this season. Celtic took the spoils at Ibrox in September. Who is going to win today? Well, we've got two giants of this match over the years. Peter Grant is with us. Peter, how are you feeling?
Nervous.
Right.
Always. But that's the way it is before the build up to these games, Paul. You just can't wait to kick off. This was a terrible time. Yeah. This is the bit you just want to be on the pitch with the referee's whistle going and then the nerves disappear. You just go on and play the game.
Barry Ferguson, how are you feeling?
Similar like Granny. Yeah, I've got a fair bit of nerves, but also I'm excited because it's a brilliant fixture. Me and Grant have been lucky enough to play in many of them. And it'll be interesting to see how Rangers approach a game under Philip Clement. They've been exceptional, been really good for them. But in my opinion, this is their biggest test. But I'm confident that the Rangers team that's been put out is capable of coming away with the 3 points.
Couple of surprises maybe in the Rangers team. Not if you listened to this programme last night. For Celtic, they start with Hart. Of course, the back four of Alistair Johnson. Stephen Welsh is in. No Cameron Carter-Vickers. Scales and Taylor. McGregor the captain. O'Reilly and Bernardo, who's been in the last few games. And up front, Maeda, Palma and Kyogo. On the bench, Bain. Abada is back but starts on the bench. Yang, Turnbull, Navrosky, Hatate back and on the bench, Ralston and Mikey Johnson. And for Rangers, who arrived a short time ago at Celtic Park, it's Jack Butland in goals, Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun and Yilmaz. So Goldson has made it, Barisic hasn't. Lundstrom, Sterling and Cantwell, McCausland and Sima and Deserts up top. On the bench, McCrory, Suter, Lammers, Cifuentes, Matondo, Dowell, yep, we are indeed, Scott Wright, King and Devine. Peter, first of all in Celtic, I think that's the team that you thought they would go with. Too early for Hatate or Abada?
Absolutely. Listen, it's great to have them back on the bench. We don't know how fit they've been, Paul, or how long they've been training, but they're two massive players and they're a big loss not to be starting, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's great to see them back on and having that opportunity to have them back. But I look around about the team and I know we're talking about Welsh. The one thing he does give us is a wee bit more in the air. People have lost Carter-Vickers, of course we have, and he's a massive player, there's no doubt of that. But Welsh is very, very good in the air, both in his own box and in the opposition box. So I'm not frightened of that. He'll deal with that if Rangers are bombarding the box, but Rangers are a big side.
Barry, the Rangers side, so it's good news that John Lundstrom is fit. And Connor Goldson, you reckon last night he would make it?
Yeah, I did. It's important. Listen, Connor Golson's massive, certainly at the back with his experience, and in my opinion, he's been excellent for Rangers over the piece. So it was important they got him back. And obviously Lundstrom, there was a fear that he could miss the game. But in my opinion, since Philip Clement's come in, John Lundstrom has been the most consistent performer. So that's a massive boost. The only one is Barisic missing, but it's a chance for Yilmaz to come in and prove that he can be a Rangers player going forward. Are you surprised that Barisic hasn't made it, not even on the bench? Yeah, I don't know the injury, Paul. He's missed the last game, so listen, he must be unfit to play, which is disappointing. But as I said, it's an opportunity for Yilmaz to come in and show what he's made of. Celtic fans in 60,000 will be there, Peter. The weather was bad on the way down. It has got much better in the last half hour or so. How big are the fans going to be today for Celtic, given that there's no Rangers support at all?
They're always massive, Paul, and we keep getting back to it. I get back to the year that Rangers won the league. Celtic had no supporters, and it shows you how important they are, and it's great when you've got a full stadium. And listen, it didn't work for Rangers, when they had the full stadium at the start of the season. I'm hoping we can turn it round, and it's interesting looking at both setups. Rangers have got 6 different players playing in this particular fixture. For the first one at the start of the season, Celtic have got the 3, and that's probably through injury. But Rangers have got the other boys are predominantly fit. It's not playing for Rangers. And that shows you what the manager's come in and changing what he sees and what he sees different. So Barry's talked about it. It'll be interesting how you see. I think he will have a go at Celtic. I really do. I think he's got that confidence in his group that he's going to try and have a go and put Celtic on the back foot. I don't think he'll be sitting back like Michael Beale did in the game at Ibrox, where he dropped in and sort of marched Callum and leave the ball on the back line. I think he will go and make Celtic try and make mistakes.
Barry, what do you feel?
Yeah, I agree. I think that will be his mindset, to go and have a go at Celtic. The biggest difference I've seen since the new manager's come in is when they do attack teams, they're very well organised behind the ball. As before, they were pretty open and easy to hit in the counter. So that's the reason why I think Clement will have a go at Celtic, because Rangers have certainly got pace in the wide areas with McCausland and Seema, and obviously the 2 fullbacks are really attack minded, and it's important that Lundstram and Sterling anchor in the middle of the pitch.
Peter, anything surprise you about the Rangers lineup today?
No, not at all. I mean, obviously the left back, obviously this doesn't surprise me with Barisic, because he usually misses out in the big games for Rangers anyway.
How do you feel that? Yeah.
Well, I do. I felt the last time he missed the game, or he went off in the game, and then went away and played in international football, so that doesn't surprise me. So it'll be interesting to see how Yilmaz. I think he's very much a more attacking player than he is, but he likes to get forward. So it'll be interesting to see if Celtic can put him under pressure defensively, because that's the one question mark I would have about Yilmaz. As I say, I've not seen a lot of him, but Barry's right. I see a big improvement in Lundstram, and because he's playing in central midfield, that's the big difference. And Sterling, to be fair to him, in the games I've seen him when he's come on, I think he's done really well, and he's offered legs to Rangers, so it can go and support the front quickly or go and press the ball, which is more important for the manager, because he wants them to take the ball off the opposition quickly, and he's got the legs and energy to do that. Yeah,
the difference in Lundstram for me, when I've seen about 7 or 8 of the games since Clement's come in, he's just simplified his game. He keeps it simple, and he stops opponents from playing. And I think when Lundstram does that sort of role, I think he's a much better player, and I think you've seen that in his performances, and it was key that Rangers got him back today.
Anything surprise you in the Celtic lineup, Barry, when you look at it? I mean, it's not a surprise. One of the questions would be Kyogo. Is he going to come back on the blistering form?
In my opinion, listen, Kyogo's still the best forward at Celtic by a country mile. Look, he's gone through a bit of a barn spell. He did score last week, but he's still a major threat, Paul, even if he's not playing at the heights as he had before. I think that comes down to a bit of supply for the wide areas, with wingers having to get the ball into the box. But listen, he's still a danger, and that's one that Golston and Balogun I'll need to be careful of, because his movement at times is exceptional.
Peter, you picked up on that. You said it in the programme here about the supply. It's not the same. Do you think Celtic will improve today? They'll have to improve to give the right ball for Kyogo.
I think it's been too slow, the ball going in the box. At times, when you've beaten your opponent, and Barry will tell you, strikers love it when you put it in then. So as soon as you're beat, because then they can go off the first movement. And I think you will have to do that against Rangers anyway, because the height issue comes into it. So it's got to be the movement then. So if that ball can get in early, so Rangers are facing their own goal, that's what's going to be the biggest threat for me for Celtic. So if I was the manager building up to this game, once you beat your opponent, put it in. If it's your full back or your wide player, deliver it, and then you're going to get the midfield support. And you've got to sometimes cause havoc, and putting the ball in there, tell defenders don't like facing their own goal. And we're not going to beat the 2 centre-halves in the air, that's for sure. So it's got to be off his movement, and he does that off the first ball exceptionally well, as Kyogo.
Kick-off is less than 20 minutes away.
The Go Radio Football Show with Global Eco Energy. Design your bespoke solar PV system and meet your energy needs with no upfront costs.
Let's go! 12 minutes past 12 on the 30th of December. We've been talking about it for months, Barry, haven't we? Looking forward to this day, and you kept saying, no, it's one game at a time. I sometimes think I'm speaking to Philippe Clement. What is that, 16 games undefeated? Yep. For Rangers. And for Celtic, the last couple of games back on form, Peter. I think it's really hard one to call today. Is that the impression you get going into this one?
I've always said to you about a Celtic Rangers match, Paul, you never ever call them, because form does go out the window. I've been into games when we've played exceptionally well in the build-up and been leathered, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So I know what it's like, and it's all about performance on the day. Who can come and make their big performances, not make the major mistakes? refereeing decisions, all these things come into it. You know, these are so important. And earlier on we were thinking about the weather. Yep. You know, so everything comes into it. And these are and it's the big players who can keep that concentration and play at the levels they've been doing. They're the ones that you think, these are the ones that's made for these games. And they could make the difference in this particular moment, in this big game. Especially if something goes against one of them early in the game. Who's the guys that's going to cajole them round about them and bring them back in?
There's always so much hype around this game. How much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, very much so. I always do. These are amazing games. It's such an iconic game to be involved in, and obviously got a great result at Ibrox earlier on in the season. Now we're in front of our own supporters, so we're really excited by it.
And no Rangers fans there today. Philippe Clement was asked about this yesterday.
No, in our hearts they will be there. It's a pity for football. I think it's always better to have two sides. It creates also a certain atmosphere. I think it's a pity for football, but it's decisions made above my head, also with knowing much more things that I know. So again, I try to control the controllable, the things that I can do, the things we need to do as a team, with my staff, with the players. And the rest is not important. We're not focused on that. We are focused on our football and the game.
Fascinating, isn't it? Battle between two managers. Philippe Clement new to it. Brendan Rodgers, I think he's won 13 out of 14. I think he's only lost one to Rangers. And yet, are Rangers the form team, Peter?
You'd have to say that. Yep. Paul, on the run of 16 games, you know, since the manager came in, they've won the trophy. We always said the first one of the season is winning a trophy, and you want to do that as quickly as you possibly can, and Rangers have done that exceptionally well, and you've got to give the manager great credit. I said when he got the job, the one thing he's got to do, forget Celtic and concentrate on every other game in the build-up to playing against a Celtic, and he's done that exceptionally well, and I think he speaks very well. You know, he's had a lot of experience as well, good clubs and won trophies, so he knows how to go about his business, and he's done that very well, and you've got to give him credit for that.
Barry, you've been impressed by him. What do you feel about Brendan Rodgers? He's had a lot of criticism, but you know, we always say he's an elite manager, and his record domestically is second to none. Yeah, but they went through a sticky patch over the last few weeks, which I never seen coming. Some of the points that they've dropped was surprising, but that's given Rangers a massive opportunity. And as I said at the start of the show, Paul, that this is the acid test for Rangers. That they've done well. They've won the first trophy, which is great. They've went over to Betis and get a brilliant victory to top the group in Europa League. But now this is the nitty gritty. They need to go into the Lions Den and make sure they come away with a result. Cyril Dessers yesterday, Peter, mentioned about the win against Betis, and Barry smiled as he listened, and he said, no, he's not played in anything like this game, the Old Firm match.
Oh, for sure. And people can tell you about it, and probably because we were brought up in it, we knew what it was about. And it's only when you hear like the Graham Souness's and the Ray Wilkins and that, when they'd played in Italy and all, and they say this was the biggest one, then we've got to say, okay, maybe it is. You know, we talk about Argentina looks phenomenal, but when you're talking about this to us as Lanarkshire boys, Scottish boys, you know, there is only one game in town, and this is it. And this is the one you knew that you had to turn up and you had to perform, because it meant everything. And at the end of the day, the thing about this game was, it was the only time you're allowed to perform not great as long as you won. That was the only game, because every other one the manager would have lambasted you if you'd have won with a few goals and still hadn't played well for performance. And this one won it. That's the most important.
Same story for you, Barry.
Yeah, I would take Rangers being absolute horrendous today. Couldn't string two passes together and come away with the 3 points. That's, as Granny mentioned, it's all about making sure you come away from Celtic Park with 3 points, no matter how you play. Listen, it's a bonus if you play well. I've played in many Old Firm games, and our performances was well below par, but you know what? We won the game, and that's what people remember. They don't remember the performance, they remember the result.
Cyril Dessers has been speaking about the effect of the new manager.
I think he brought, not only for me, but I think for the rest as well, like he brought clarity. He has a style of play which suits me very well, which suits the team as well, the other players as well. And he brings a good structure in it, and that's something that I like as a player. Like that that everything is clear. We know what to do. We just go on the pitch and we can go switch to automatic pilot and just do our job.
Made it simple for the players. Keep it.
That's exactly. I said that about 4 or 5 weeks ago. Dessers has just mentioned there. Sorry, they've got a clear structure. They're very well drilled, really well coached, and you can see that in the performances. As I said, out of the 16 games, Paul, probably 8 of them they've not played very well, but they've found a way because they've been hard to beat. They've been solid defensively, and when they get that opportunity, they've managed to put the ball in the back of the net.
Here's Callum McGregor.
Players can't wait. When these games come around, then there's always excitement surrounding the game, inside the building, outside the building. So it's just our job to stay calm and understand what we need to do, what we need to bring to the game to make it a success. So the players trained well this morning, and like I say, we're ready to go. We're looking forward to it.
Staying calm is a big part of it. It must be difficult. I was lucky enough to be in the tunnel, but only there, as a reporter, Peter. It must be so easy to lose your head in the first tackle.
Oh, I've been there, Paul, so I know what it's like, and it's very, very difficult. People say it's just another game. It's not. There is absolutely no doubt of that. When you're brought up in the west of Scotland, that is not the case. It's a completely different game. You've got to go out and perform at your best. You just want to win. You don't even look across the tunnel at each other. I see people shaking hands now and swapping jerseys. It was more like swapping punches probably in our day. But that's the way it is. That's the name of the game. You've got to go there, fight for everything. And as you say, you maybe not have your best game. You've got to make sure your opponent doesn't have his best game either. But you're right in moments, and I've unfortunately let myself down in certain moments on it, and you let yourself down and you lose that concentration. That's what the game can do to you, and that's why I'm saying getting into these games it's slightly different, especially in our day, because most of us were West of Scotland boys.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you knew how much it meant to everybody. Your family were supporting it, everything was there, and everything was built on it. People going to work on a Monday, all these things, and I'm sure that's not changed for a lot of people, but for the players it's slightly changed, but for us it wasn't, and that was the thing. It could maybe make you or break you in the respect of that. If you let your teammates down, and I did on occasions, and that is the problem that lives with you.
Barry, you mentioned yours in the column yesterday. You were sent off in one of the games, but there's VAR now, isn't there, for the players? So...
It was never a sending off.
No, John, go on.
I know, listen, yeah. It wasn't.
I can't believe a Rangers player was sent off.
2 bookings. The first was a booking, but the second was never a booking. But
who was the referee?
Who was the referee? That's a good question. Yeah. I'll come back to
maybe later.
Yeah, I'll come back to that one. But listen, it's the case of today. You're getting into battle. It's a war today. You know what I mean? That's the way I used to approach the games, and I used to always think it's about the bragging rights for the people who are coming to watch the game, and the thousands and thousands of supporters who are watching it in the bars or in their houses. Because if you lost it, you didn't want to go to the shops, you didn't want to go to the petrol station because you would get absolute dog's abuse. But that was part of it, and I didn't mind that because that obviously riled you up a wee bit for the next game. It's
so huge for your friends, your families. And of course, families these days, some of them will be Celtic fans, some Rangers fans. We had a guy on the other week said, Andy, Andrew's my confirmation name. And then I said, all right, Andrew, the middle name. He said, no, Derek's my middle name. My dad's a Rangers fan. I thought that was brilliant. So you had Derek from the Rangers side and you had Andrew. Who's going to win it? I'm going to ask Barry and Peter, and the teams will be out shortly.
The Go Radio Football Show with Global Eco Energy. Design your bespoke solar PV system and meet your energy needs with no upfront costs. Let's go!
Yep, Barry's in a dark blue fetching top.
I've got
Peter, just check it.
Royal blue.
Royal blue jammies. Yeah. And Peter, we did speculate, are you in your Celtic jammies? Did you get them for Christmas?
Yeah, definitely got them for Christmas. Now, had to wear them today, I'm going to support the boys.
The Sky coverage will be on in the background. The great coverage there, of course, Ian Crocker and the guys. But Barry and Peter will give us that extra expert commentary during the game. Not commentary, of course, but just keeping us right up to date with what's going to happen. Well, we can see Brendan Rodgers there. Is he going to be smiling at full time? Peter Grant, what do you think?
I hope so. Yeah, that's for sure. It's going to be a tough game, let me tell you. It wouldn't surprise me. And as I say, I usually don't give the fixture because anything can happen in it. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be a draw. I've got a real funny feeling it's going to be a draw today. That's been my thought for the last couple of weeks, and I've looked at it just to balance the both teams at this moment in time. Rangers would maybe be happy going away from Celtic Park with it, even though they're playing well. they'd be happy with the point, where it'd be a disappointing one for Celtic because it's a home game.
Can you imagine it though, Peter? Look at Hibs Hearts the other night. Terrible game, 7 minutes added on, and then that one moment of genius got the away win.
Absolutely, for the striker that we've spoken about.
Sure.
He only needs one chance. You know what I mean? And that's it, exactly what we need in this particular game. And Celtic have got a striker that's capable of that. And you're saying now Rangers have got players coming into that for him now. They've done exceptionally well for it as a team, but Seema's been the one for me. It'll be interesting to see him today, because of the way, the role he plays. I think he's been a very big player for Rangers, and this is obviously, I think this is his first occasion in this one. Starter.
Yep. Scoreline then, is it a scoring draw?
Yeah.
It is. So some goals. So that'd be good to watch and to listen to this afternoon, you reckon. Barry, what do you feel? I know we spoke last night, so
I wouldn't be against coming away with a point, but I think Rangers are capable of getting 3 points today. I do honestly think, but we spoke at the start of the show, I do think Rangers will have a go at Celtic, and I think that's the right way to approach it. If you go and you sit back and you allow Celtic to dominate the ball, then I think you could be in a bit of trouble. So I think, as I said, the way that Rangers play now, they're very well set up when they're attacking, which is so important, because obviously Celtic have got the pace and the movement of Maeda and Kyogo and the craft of O'Reilly, and Callum McGregor's one player that you can't allow to dictate the game. And I'm sure that's what's been spoke about inside the Celtic dressing room. If you let Callum have a bit of time on the ball, he's got the ability to create things. So I think that's important. But I do think Rangers will come away with the 3 points.
Such a special player, isn't he, Callum McGregor?
Yeah, absolutely. And I felt after the first 5-10 minutes at Ibrox, he dominated the full game, you know, and I think that was down tactically. We spoke about it. I think this manager is playing more Cantwell in that area today. So that'll be interesting, because they'd done that before and it worked for them at Ibrox, and his setup is slightly different, and Cantwell plays more in that role. So it'll be interesting to watch it going forward. But as I say, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. You know, I'm excited, I'm nervous, all these things. But as I say, I'm always praying for that result, you know.
Where's Maeda going to be played? Is he going to go down the left?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays on the left-hand side, because he's done well against James Tavernier. So that's been a real fight, and I think, as I say, I just don't think he's back to his fitness yet. I know you've got to play him to get his fitness, but the last 2 games he's not looked back to himself. So hopefully today, his third time lucky, he comes in with a big performance.
Barry, James Tavernier, Celtic would want to pin him back because he's so dangerous, top scorer for Rangers. And Maeda, he's been missed.
Yeah, but he looked rusty at Dens Park. But listen, that's because he's missed a fair bit of football. But I think that would have done him the world of good, playing 70 or so minutes against Dundee. And I think that will be a plan, that James Tavernier is a real thorn in sides when he goes down that right hand side. He's been a brilliant signing, Paul. He comes up with about so many arguments about, is he good enough, is he this, is he that. In my opinion, I think he's been an excellent Rangers player. I really do. His numbers speak for itself, but overall, defensively, you can say he struggles at times. But listen, what he brings to that Rangers team, with goals and assists, is phenomenal. And for £300,000 7 or 8 years ago, I think it's been an absolute bargain.
He could become a Rangers great if he brings the title.
Yeah, the only
back.
thing that's against him is obviously trophies. Yeah. When you lead a team, you need to obviously walk up the stairs and lift trophies. But listen, he's lifted one a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure that's given him the taste of it. And as I said today, I think he's going to be massive for Rangers.
Peter, thinking about Celtic and Matt O'Reilly, a bit of magic from him today could change the game.
Absolutely, you know, and he's been outstanding. As I say, I think at Ibrox he showed me how well he's doing against the ball, and I think that's going to be important for him, because getting in front of that back line at Celtic, especially the centre backs, is going to be so important, because as I said, I think they're going to attack them a little bit more, and I think Cantwell's going to be more in that position today. So, like say Callum and that, I've got to be aware of that, especially if Seaman that get to the byline, that Cantwell's not arriving late.
They're in the tunnel already, that moment you both spoke about earlier on. Barry, you were saying last night you remember standing next to, for example, Bobo Baldi, and just the physicality, the height of him. And I'm thinking there,
I never even reached to his shoulders, so I never looked at him. Yeah. I just kind of glanced to the side of me. But at that time, Celtic were a real physical presence, and I think Rangers have got a wee bit of that today. They've got Balogun, Golston, Lundstrom, Seema. Dessers, and that's something. Listen, Rangers will want to play the game, want to get the ball on the floor, but I think set pieces could be key for and against.
And Peter, you made a good point. It's a blow, CCV being out, but Stephen Welsh, you think, attacks the ball really
I think
well.
he does it very well. And I think he's aggressive. He's not the biggest, but he's very aggressive, and he's got good timing, which is very, very important. Doesn't matter how big you are if you're not got good timing, and Stephen's got that. So it's just a matter of having the game. Like, he's done well against Feyenoord, against a very good striker. So I'm pleased to see that he's getting an opportunity. He's been here a long time now, and he's an able replacement for Carter Vickers.
Rangers have come out, as they do these days in the Derby and the Old Firm, the Glasgow Derby. They come out with the tracksuit top on. Celtic have come out in the traditional hoops. I can see Peter smiling at that. Barry, have you got a view on that? Did you prefer wearing the tracksuit, or would you come out with the blue on?
No, I think we just come out with the strip. Listen,
It's always good to come out with the strip on. Just walk out with the strip on. That's
it's been cold, so they're keeping themselves warm.
I'll tell you, I did think that this morning, though, in the weather, that I know they get the big bucks at this level.
You Crimble jacket on.
I did, yeah, that was from the missus, thank you. Yeah,
it's about time you get a new jacket.
It nearly fits me. I know.
You're good on it.
Yilmaz's about my height, isn't he? He's not the biggest. For looking at the referee there, so Nick Walsh. Listen, I've mentioned him a couple of times this week. It's a huge game. The referee, there hasn't been too many controversies in recent games. Let's hope today it's about the game itself and not, refereeing
Let
decisions.
the referee referee the game.
That's the biggest thing. We know what decisions are, and we can tell within split seconds. If they take it to 4 and 5 minutes, it just doesn't work.
Peter wants the sound up in the background there.
We shouldn't be talking, actually.
She'll never walk alone going there. There's pictures of Brendan Rodgers just looking as Celtic go into the huddle. I look back at the game this morning. I look back at the game at Ibrox. The highlights this morning on Sky. They play 30 minutes of the most recent games. Showed you Rangers winning 3-0 at the end of last season in the sunshine, and then Celtic winning 1-0 in the sunshine at Ibrox. But it was just it was silent when Kyogo scored. If Rangers scored today, it will be similar. And how will the Celtic fans react if Celtic go and score and get the crowd behind them and get that momentum that's taken them to 11 out of 13 titles? It's going to be some afternoon. Peter, final word from you before there'll be plenty of words coming. Scoreline, are you changing your mind?
No, I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw, but I hope I'm wrong and hope it's Celtic victory, obviously.
And Barry, scoreline?
2-1 Rangers.
2-1 Rangers. You settled in, guys? You okay? We're ready?
Ready, go.
Just one.
That's us now.
The pies at half time are from excellent bakers from Lark Hall. Barry brought them in.
I'm not taking one.
Game's underway. It's Rangers.
The best steak pie you've ever tasted.
Right? Excellent.
It's lovely. Well, there's 2 steak pie and 2 mince pie.
I love the McGee's.
I'll let
you
have the steak.
Thank you. Right, game's underway, and it's Rangers first on the attack. Ball through from Sima, looking to release McCausland, but it goes all the way back, and Joe Hart gets an early touch. Celtic playing left to right as we're looking here on Sky, so as the cameras is from the main stand. Celtic left to right. Matt O'Reilly there, or is it Bernardo? With the gloves on, Peter.
Yeah, I know, it's changed days, but it's interesting saying that about Matt, and they look very alike.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Yeah, they do, even the way they wear their socks and everything like that,
Was that Bernardo? As Rangers try to come forward at Liam Scales, he's tested there by Dessers, does well, plays it right. First touch to Stephen Welsh. Of course, he came in at the start. He scored Celtic's first goal of the season, didn't he, against Aberdeen?
Listen, he's never let them down. As I said to you, he came on as you say, Aberdeen and whatever. And he's an important boy around about. I think Brendan spoke about the fact of the way he's trained exceptionally well, and a great support for the boys that's been in front of him, who have just been better.
It's the Go Radio Football Show with Global Eco Energy. Paul Cooney, lucky to be in the company of Barry Ferguson and Peter Grant. The two of them. There's not much about this game that they don't know. Barry, you spotted something. Cantwell's just gone down. A push on him.
Yeah, Callum McGregor's went in a bit late, but it's important that when obviously Rangers don't have possession, that he's round about Callum McGregor and doesn't let him dictate the play. But this is a big afternoon for Cantwell. He's playing in his favoured position, just behind the striker, so I want to see a big performance from him.
Because he's been in and out, hasn't he, this season?
Well, he's played in the left, played in the right, but obviously the number 10 slots the position where he wants to play, and since he's come in and played that position, he's played pretty well. Good goal against Motherwell at the weekend, and I want to see him getting beyond Dessers at times as well. That's important, that he just doesn't stay with his midfielders, that he goes and makes runs off the main striker.
Peter,
It's going to be their first test, Paul. It's a wide free kick for
Rangers.
And it's Callum McGrain. He's given 2 quick free kicks away. So it'll be interesting to see how we defend it. As you were talking about the height, Barry was talking about earlier on.
Coming in from the right from Tavernier, it's headed
It's
away
got
by
to be better
Kyogo.
delivery.
Yeah, it was poor, wasn't it? Unlike him, because Tavernier is so good. Obviously, it's
his delivery is exceptional. There's no doubt about that. He'll be disappointed there because that's an area of the pitch where I think Rangers can get the better of Celtic.
It's interesting, Paul. He's playing Maida on the right, and keeping Palmer on the left against James Tavernier. So that's interesting. So I'm glad to see that, because I think Palmer's definitely better on. He's not got the pace to get by anyone. I think when he steps inside, then he's got a problem. He's got that delivery. If he delivers, he's got to deliver much quicker than he has done in the last few weeks. When he delivers quickly, it's a fantastic ball he puts in the box, and sometimes undefensible.
3 minutes gone. Celtic 0, Rangers 0. It's going to be a throw in to Rangers, maybe too early.
I've noticed that just at the start of the game. I know we're only 3 minutes in, but when Kyogo drops shot, either Golson or Balogun are going right in with him. They're not leaving it to the central midfielders, which is interesting.
Yeah, it is, because I think that's what Brendan had been speaking about, and that's what Matt Riley and that had been saying, to get beyond. So if they do come out, it'll be interesting to see if they can get across, and get in behind.
Rangers there with an effort from Tavernier, speculative one. It's gone over the bar, past the post, and it's taken quickly by Celtic coming forward. Here's Callum McGregor up over the halfway line, but that's a good tackle of John Lundstrom.
Well, that's what he's been excellent at since Clement's come in. Doing the dirty work, he's been doing it really well, and that was important because Callum McGregor was on the break there. But one thing about John Lundstrom is he's a very good athlete as well. He can get about the pitch, which is important.
Good interception. It was a chance for Celtic.
Yeah, it was a good break. It all started with the fact that the thing I spoke about earlier, centre backs not passing to each other. Liam Scales got it and went like straight between the lines and picked out the pass.
And good play by Kyogo. Got past one, couldn't get past 2 defenders as Leon Balogun is on the ball. He must pinch himself, Barry, and say, I'm back.
He shouldn't
have
left in the first place, in my opinion. Paul.
As Celtic come forward, it's Kyogo into the box. He breaks. Can he try a shot? He's got Maeda with him. Tries a shot. Has it gone for a corner? Butland has. It was Butland who saved Peter.
I'm quite surprised that he looked slow there, Golson on the turn. I don't know if it's just caught here. It's Yilmaz that's playing him on side, but the 2 centre backs are too far over. But he just couldn't get away from him. And to be fair, Golson stayed in there and forced him wide. But it's Celtic's first effort. So I said to you, Kyogo gives you a problem if you give him the ball early.
So the corner kick is being taken now to the near post. Up goes Connor Golson. Balogun gets to it first, I think. And it's Cantwell back helping the defence down here on the touchline at the main stand side. We're watching on Sky, Paul Cooney with Peter Grant and Barry Ferguson. Good play by Cantwell, loses 2 players, takes on maybe 1 too many, but still with Rangers it's Lundstrom to Sterling. Barry, that was good defensive work by Cantwell.
Yeah, listen, we'll talk about his ability going forward, but you've also got to do the other side of it, Paul, and track back, and he's come in there and helped his defenders.
Poor touch there by Yilmaz. It falls for Matt O'Reilly, but poor ball forward to Maeda, who can't control it. Is nobody really gripping it so far, Peter? Is that what you would say? 5 minutes?
You expect that in this type of game, Paul. It's always hurly-burly. You're trying to put your marker in. You're trying to get the touch on the ball. The pitch is holding up a little bit because it seems to be a lot of the snow's melted, obviously, and it's changed the movement of the ball. You can see that when the players are trying to run with it, the ball's sticking a little bit. So I think that's when you were talking about Yilmaz's bad touch. I think he's trying to take it out the water, really. And it's just went too far away. But this is what you expect, the game breaking down just with balls going out for throw-ins, and then it will settle. Well, sometimes.
Barry, you sometimes say you can tell in the first 5-10 minutes who wants it more. I can't discern that.
Yeah, but
yet.
nobody's got a foothold in the game yet. That's the important thing. But listen, it's 100 mile an hour. They're just trying to find their feet at this moment in time. It's a bit scrappy. There's a few passes going astray, but it'll calm down, hopefully, in 5 or 10 minutes.
You just never want the game to get away from you. And sometimes it's when you get a couple of touches in the ball early, that set play, but it was a poor
ball. Rangers coming forward. Chance for Rangers. Ball into the box. Joe Hart gets a foot to it. Still in the box. Cantwell, left-footed, can go for the shot. Still in the box, cleared by Alistair Johnson. Barry, that was a real chance.
Yeah, that's an area of the pitch where I think Rangers can exploit Celtic in the left-back area. McCausland, great run. I think it was Tavernier that played a very good ball through. He's drove it across. There's a bit of a scramble. I think Cantwell could have had a pop earlier. But listen, it was a good move by Rangers.
There's a big chance, as you say, Barry, get down the side of it, and once they're in there, it's very difficult with any ball across the goal. But Celtic defended it well, finally. You know, but to get into that position, the Rangers will be delighted that if McCausland gets in there more often.
See, that's what I like about McCausland. He's very positive. You see here, he's just wanting to run forward. He's on side there. It's a great ball by Tavernier. To be fair, Joe Hart does well, blocks it.
And Joe Hart did well in the last game at Ibrox. Watching it back this morning, you realise fair number of saves, sometimes with the foot as he did there, but it's Rangers just now camped in the Celtic box in the last couple of minutes. But good play by Matt O'Reilly, brushes off a Rangers player. Lundstrom plays it forward to his captain. Where's Sterling behind him? So he's been caught there. Celtic coming forward. Maeda down the right, 1-on-1 with Yilmaz, but that was poor, Peter. He can't get round a player there, but still in play, and it's cleared. Dezers is back defending. That was a chance there for Celtic.
It was a big chance, and that's what I've said about his fitness levels. Don't look up to the levels he's been, because every time he's had a 1v1 in the last few games I've seen him, he's knocked it and he's hit it off the defender, or he's given cheap possession away. But it was an opportunity. It turned from Celtic, as you said, the way the game has predominantly, it's went from Celtic, or Rangers attacking, to Celtic attacking.
Good. Here come Rangers coming forward down the right. McCausland's doing well for Rangers. Barry, they could have done better there. Cantwell couldn't quite.
Yeah, I think Cantwell thought McCausland was going to come inside, but obviously changed his run to go on the outside. But that's one thing that Rangers have got now in the wide area. They've got genuine pace and players that are very direct, with Seaman, obviously McCausland.
They're looking for the ball, they're creating space. As Celtic now come down the left, Palmer plays it in, looking for O'Reilly. O'Reilly left-footed into the box, falls for Maeda, takes one touch. Good defensive play, Rangers clear. It falls only as far as Alistair Taylor. 19, Alistair Johnson. 9 minutes gone. 0-0. Celtic coming down the left. Palmer tries to get round Tavernier. Would you want Rob McLean?
He's been a good signing for
Celtic.
Rob
Cooney.
It's been. It's not commentary, of course. That's why I'm not allowed near a commentary box. Peter, Celtic a bit of pressure now.
That's a cracker.
Stephen Scales.
I'll get you for that one. Andy Walker was great last night. It's a corner for Celtic coming up to 9.5
very
minutes.
rarely do you make a mistake, but that was a howler.
Thank you. Right, back to the match. 10 minutes gone. Celtic 0, Rangers 0.
It's been a great start for a supporter if you're watching the game, because it's been end to end. You know, and it's been set plays for one or the other.
Here's the ball, whipped in, headed away. First time comes back to Palmer. Palmer looks to take on a player, plays it in, palmed away by Jack Butland. Celtic players coming forward. Taylor out to the right. Is it O'Reilly? Left footed, just chips it forward, looking for Palmer. Palmer still with a chance there. Peter, they're just not getting in. I
think he's got to do better. It's a great ball at the back post. I don't know if he should go with his left foot and just play it first time back across the goal, or go for the volley. I don't know, it's obviously he's a talented boy, but that's what I definitely thought. He should have been more selfish there.
Callum McGregor tries to win it. He's in a tussle with Cantwell. He regains possession, the Celtic captain. Barry, it's non-stop, isn't it? End to end.
It is.
Good stuff. Celtic coming
energy
forward.
Levels are sky high.
Palmer down near the corner flag, just in front of the Green Brigade. Chips it into the box. Great chance for Celtic. Just past the post. Peter, what an opportunity for Bernardo.
Absolutely, and it's exactly what I said, Paul. Palmer's got the ball, and he's done it. First thing we said, get the cross in the box. Bernardo goes for the flick header, doesn't get enough on it. But then you think, Maeda at the back post, is he going to get in? But at least he's got in at the back post. There was a bit of pace on the ball, tried to get there. But the first big opportunity really goes to Celtic.
It's the hardest thing to mark, a midfield runner.
Absolutely.
And one thing Celtic done up at Dens Park with obviously Bernardo, normally he plays in that holding role. I thought he was good for Celtic, breaking forward. So Rangers need to be wary of that, and that's up to Lundstrom and Sterling to make sure they follow the runner.
Wasn't a great summer of signings for your old team, Peter Grant, but Bernardo is now beginning to prove his worth.
I've been impressed with him, Paul, when I've seen him. He's about his work really quietly, because he wins the ball back and then plays simple passes. You know, and to be fair, he's got a good energy about him. But it's funny to say that, because he looks one-paced, but he's not. He always seems to get there, and he gets in the box and he makes good runs, you know. So Barry said that, but he's a good footballer as well. So all-round game's been impressive.
Barry's been a foul there on Goldson. Bernardo You saw it back.
Yeah, he went down his ankle a wee bit. Listen, look, I don't think, if I'm being honest, I don't think he meant it. He was just that split second too late.
You enjoying the game so far, Barry? 0-0.
Yes.
No, serious. It's non-stop, isn't it?
Yeah, it's end to end, no doubt. Celtic have had the best chance so far with Bernardo's header.
As Yilmaz comes forward for Rangers up over the halfway line, gets away from Maida, plays it in, but he's played the wrong ball and it's picked up by Greg Taylor. Taylor out to the right for, it's going to be a throw in for Celtic, just below. You can see Brendan Rodgers there, and the coverage. He would be, well, both managers stating the obvious, desperate to win today, but neither of them would be too unhappy if it was a draw. Now, listen, a long way to go, Peter, but
I think Brendan would be disappointed, Paul, because you've got a home game, you've got all your support in the building, you've won at Ibrox. This puts your marker down with winning 2 Celtic Rangers matches. You're winning both. That'd be the way you'd be looking at it. And listen, if you take care of your other games, which Celtic haven't done so far this season, you know, you win the league. That's what goes a long way to winning the league, you know. So this is a big game for us.
What a poor ball there, Peter, for giving Rangers a chance up over the halfway line. McCausland does well, but Scales, good tackle.
He's been excellent, Paul. He's been outstanding since he came into the side, you know. His all-round game, I know he's had a couple of errors here and there, but and predominantly you'd probably say he's Celtic player of the season so far. He's been that good. I know Mattarelli's been outstanding, but for a young man coming in who wasn't part of the group really, and he was going to be going out on loan, he's been absolutely outstanding. What
are Rangers saying at the moment, Barry? The ball's gone all the way back to Liam Scales.
Yeah, that's one thing I have noticed about Rangers. Listen, they like to get the ball on the ground, but also they're not scared to go direct. But that was a wayward pass by Connor Golson, because they've got a physical presence up there in Dessers. Look, he's not been on fire since he's come in, but one thing about the big man, he's a physical presence and he works his backside off.
He sure does, and he came so close to creating a goal for Rangers.
And also the last couple of weeks I've seen an improvement in him. It's clear that they're doing a bit of work on him on the training ground, and he's a player I'm desperate to do well, Paul. I think there's a player in there. I do.
See, that's my worry, exactly what's happened there.
A Celtic defence, tipping tapping, and it's come to Sterling's played it in. Dessers inside the box, plays it to Cantwell. Don't know what Cantwell tried to do there.
Yeah, I would rather Dessers there just goes and has a go himself.
But it all came from about 6 passes between Joe Hart, Liam Scales and Stephen Welsh. I just don't understand it. They hadn't done that earlier.
And a mistake there by Balogun, who almost caught out there. But Peter, you're right, that's the danger area. Why does Celtic do that?
I just don't understand that. I really don't. They're positive play, and all of a sudden you're passing 5-6 passes across the back. And at times I can understand if you're killing the game late in the game, whatever. But when you do that, it just brings Rangers further up the pitch. And Rangers are not going to stand off like they did at Ibrox. They're coming after the ball. You can see that the way they're set up. 15 minutes gone. It's 0-0. Celtic on the ball at the moment as the ball's played through. O'Reilly plays it through to Kyogo, edge of the box, but he's beaten. But is that McCausland back there supporting? Nobody's getting on top of it, Barry, are they? But this is a good move by Rangers up to the halfway line. It's young McCausland, his first game forward. He's got space. Cantwell 25 yards out. Is he going to try and have a pop? He plays it through, looking for somebody down the right, but there's nobody there.
He's got to be aware of Seema. Seema's made a good run there. I know Cantwell's wanting to take the player on, but he's got to slip in Seema there. He's in full flow, Seema, at that stage, so he can play it to the left hand side. As you just see here, if he just rolls it in between the centre back and the full back, Seema's got the pace to get in behind there. He went the way Celtic wanted him to go.
Absolutely. If he plays it first time, Seema's right in and he's in full pelt. You're not going to get across to him.
Stephen Welsh there took a bit of a knock, Peter, but I think he's up and he's fine.
Well, that's the problem. You know, when you've just come back from injury, you don't know what I think it was an ankle injury he had. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was an ankle injury he had, so you're always a bit conscious when it goes to his ankle, holding his ankle.
Free kick for Rangers, Barry.
Yep, I know we're only 16 and a half minutes in, but Sterling, he's impressing me big time.
And he's just given a chance.
Do you know what? He looks so comfy in the middle of the pitch.
First booking of the lunchtime game.
It's a great touch by Seema there. Yeah, it's a foul.
Johnson. Yep, so that's the first yellow card. Alistair Johnson, Peter, no complaints there?
No complaints. He's went 3 or 4 times to try and get him there, and that's a blow because Seema's very direct and quick. Alistair's got to be very, very careful now. You don't want.
That's one of the ones, Grant. To see if I'm on the pitch now, I'm saying to Seema, every time you get that ball, you attack Johnson.
Absolutely. And that's the problem you have, when you get an early booking, especially in that area of the pitch. It's hard enough in the middle of the pitch, but being a fullback would be a disaster, at times, especially with someone with pace.
Peter, could be a test here for Joe Hart.
It needs to be a good delivery.
Yep. Connor Goldson's up there. Palma is shadowing him. So it's down the left-hand side. Yilmaz is over it. So too is Tavernier. Who's going to take it?
My slight concern here is all Celtic's smaller players are the first guys.
Yeah. Maeda's there.
So if Rangers run across
McGregor.
the front, there could be a problem.
17 and a half minutes gone. Celtic 0, Rangers 0. It's Tavernier, chips into the box, a poor one, they're headed away, only as far as Lundstrom. Lundstrom plays it forward, and it's cleared by
very unlike
Stephen
him.
Welsh.
Very unlike Tavernier. His deliveries are normally on point. He'll be disappointed with his last couple.
Yilmaz is in. There's no Barisic today if you've just tuned in, but John Lundstrom has made it, as has Connor Goldson. And for Celtic, Abada and Hatate as expected on the bench. Bernardo is in the midfield alongside McGregor and O'Reilly. The Go Radio Football Show, Paul Cooney, Barry Ferguson, Peter Grant, 0-0. We're with Global Eco Energy. Here comes Celtic down the right, headed unorthodox way there, Peter, by Dyson Maeda, but nothing too... No penetration.
No, as you say, it's not the sort of ball he'll be looking for either. But talk about Bernardo, I think he started the game well. I think he's been in control and possession of the ball. He's picked up good areas. He got in the box, made a good run in the box. He's had a good start to the game.
Here comes Celtic down the left. McGregor started it, goes out to Palma. Palma, Peter, what happened there?
He was unlucky because I don't know if it's Greg Taylor that's made the run in the inside, and it's just Greg's either went too quick and not changed his feet quick enough. But it was a big opportunity actually out of nothing.
This is going from end to end. It's now Rangers up over the halfway line. Abdallah Sima, good ball through for McCausland. Alistair Johnson tracks him, plays it back to Joe Hart. And the guy with 75 England caps plays it up towards the halfway line, but it is picked up by Lundstrom. Lundstrom fit, as we predicted last night. Forward to McCausland. Sima, well over the top.
Yeah, good passage of play there. Cantwell into McCausland. Be back heel. Seema will be disappointed that he's not at least hit the target there.
Definitely, because it was good play with Rangers and they got into that edge of the box, as Barry says. But you'd expect him with the form he's in to actually, it's either got to be blocked. You don't miss the target with that much for 18 yards out.
Other games this afternoon. There's Motherwell against Livy here in the West. Huge game as we see the cameras on. In fact, is that Roy Keane there? Of course, former Celtic player for a short time in the early 2000s, and he's just sitting behind Cameron Carter-Vickers and Lager Bielka. So Roy Keane in town, Barry. So I wonder what he's thinking about the Old Firm derby as the ball is played. Still 20 minutes gone, 0-0. Either side in top, Peter? I suspect no.
No, I think there's been a patch where Rangers were on top, Celtic have been in top for a little bit, created good chances.
Here comes Celtic into the box, a great ball through to Maeda. Maeda should have scored there for Kyogo. What happened?
The best chance of the match. There's the best. Maeda, exactly what we're talking about, but I don't know if he's given offside.
He'll hope it was offside.
He can't be offside, but he is off.
Yes.
He can't be offside. That is a wide player, and we keep saying it time and time again.
He doesn't need to be offside.
No, absolutely not. His pace. And that's what I think you can get at Yilmaz, is that defensive side of it, so he doesn't need to go early. So it's a big opportunity, and then he puts the pace in the ball. Whether there's too much pace on the ball and Kyogo can't get there, but as I say, it was a big opportunity and a big chance for him.
Threat to Rangers there.
Yeah, that's an area of the pitch where probably Celtic are looking to exploit as well. Same as I said about Rangers with Celtic. Maeda, his pace is electric, but again, must be frustrated, Brendan Rodgers. He doesn't need to be offside there with the pace that he's got. Ridvan needs to be aware. He's ball watching, he needs to be aware where Maeda is.
It's going to be a big shift for him today, Ridvan Yilmaz, as Celtic play the ball back. This is the thing that Peter Grant, you quite rightly say, Peter, why the bit of tippy-tappy at the back. It's worked this time. It's played from Welsh to Alistair Johnson. Johnson charging down the right hand side up over the halfway line for Maeda. The Japanese international scored at the World Cup, gets to the byline, overruns it though. Better
for Ridvan. Yep.
Yeah,
he's aware where he is.
It was good play to play out, because that was different, Paul, because what they'd done the last one was they went from Joe to Scales, back to Joe, back to Welsh, back in. This time they went 1, 2, 3 across and forward then, and I think there's a slight difference in that. That's good play. The other one, Barry will tell you, the more people pass square or back, you're delighted because you can step up and press the ball. And as I said to you,
as Celtic come forward, chance for Celtic, just past the post. What a strike there by Paulo Bernardo.
I thought it was in. I thought it dipped below. He won the ball back.
See there, I think it's Tavernier that's played that into McCausland, but you've got to be aware that there's 3 or 4 players round about McCausland. See, sometimes, Grant, just get it and play it into an area.
Absolutely. You've got to get, that's what I'm saying, Barry. I can't understand. And you can see what Rangers do for the kick-off. They're going into their front men. So surely their defenders have got to realise that if Celtic are pushing up the pitch, the only way you've got to get by them. You can't try and play and square them, because exactly what happened, what we're talking about for Celtic, is exactly what's happened to Rangers there.
You can't take your eyes off this.
I get they want to play, and listen, it's good when it works, but there's a point where you think, right, I'm putting my teammate in danger if I'm giving the ball, giving him the ball in a certain area. Where sometimes you take it out your feet and play it up the line.
As Celtic come forward, play through to Bernardo, or is it O'Reilly? They're so alike, Peter, aren't they? Bernardo's on form though, isn't he? As Celtic come forward again down the left, Greg Taylor. What are the options for him? Palma goes on a run down the left, but he cuts inside to Bernardo. Bernardo, has he got options? Poor pass, but it does go to Palma. His is a poor pass, and it's just bobbing about there at the edge of the Rangers penalty area. Back to Butland, who clears it up towards the halfway line, and it's just headed on there by Dessers.
But it's good defending, Paul, because they're not playing split, they're playing against the attacker. When you're playing against one, some people like them standing in between. I like my defender to be making sure he's marking. The fence cleared, you can be in a battle with them. You know, because if you don't and someone's got that little bit of pace, you slip, and all of a sudden they're through your goal. 24 minutes gone, it's Callum McGregor. Sweeps it out to the right to Dyson Maida. Maida back to McGregor. McGregor, he's got Cantwell on him immediately. Plays it to Greg Taylor. Taylor to Palma, the Honduran. Can he get into the box? Can he beat the player? Plays it for Greg Taylor. It's just gone over the top. Was that a corner? I think it's a corner off McCausland.
Celtic are now starting to get a bit of a grip on the game. This is where Rangers need to remain solid and compact, because they're starting to get the ball. They're starting to shift the ball from side to side and stretch Rangers a wee bit. So Rangers need to be wary of that.
Corner kick in this near side, the main stand side at Celtic Park, is going to be taken by Lewis Palma, who, as we know, has a good delivery on occasions. He scored a few goals as well. Right-footed, plays it up, and it's headed away, but it falls. Chance goal for Celtic. Celtic have scored after 25 minutes, and it's Paulo Bernardo. Came close twice. He finally hits the back of the net. 25 minutes, Celtic are 1-up.
What a fantastic strike. We've said it about him. We thought his start to his game's been excellent, and he's hit that wonderfully well. But he's got to be careful here. I know he's got to be careful. The boards have fell there with the fans on, so he's got to be careful. But what a wonderful, wonderful strike.
It sure is. He's gone over to where the Green Brigade
It's a poor header, Buscema. Yeah. You've got to header it. Just put it back where the balls came from. Poor header, but don't take nothing away from Bernardo. It's a brilliant strike, but Seema's got to do better with the defensive header there.
Oh, it's fantastic technique, but I don't know if they've worked on it, because you see the way he comes round the back end. He comes round from round the back, so Rangers are not really picking him up. They've all went with all the big lads, and he's come round from the back of the defenders and picked up his area. But what a wonderful hit!
He's got to do better with the header.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd be crying.
Just put your head through it.
As you say, there's sometimes these guys at 6'4" don't head the ball; they jump down the way.
And Peter, for Paulo Bernardo, I think is the ref speaking to him?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
That's because he's gone off the pitch.
Now they'll say that's for safety reasons or whatever. God almighty, if you can't enjoy a game at football, you know, with scoring a goal, it's ridiculous. It's not as if you're going to the away support in any shape or form.
One missed time tackle and he could be off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And Alistair Johnson is also on a yellow card. So, yep, it's true. 27 minutes gone. Bernardo's still questioning what happened.
I understand as well, because you don't want people to get hurt. I understand that side of it. But God almighty, you've got to be able to enjoy a game at football with scoring goals. It's the hardest thing to do in football.
Sure.
You don't want someone injured, of course.
Of course not, yeah. As the game gets underway again, so it's Dyson Maida, but Yilmaz gets in, plays it forward to Seema back. Important few moments for Rangers, Barry. They don't want to concede any more.
No, they don't. They don't. They've been a bit sloppy with a couple of touches and a couple of passes. They need to calm themselves down a wee bit and just make sure they're solid and they're playing in their positions. Because what you don't want is, you don't want now sprinting after. Now sometimes just get into your formation and let the game settle down a wee bit.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, I get what they want to go and get the ball, but sometimes I mean, Grant will tell you, sometimes you just have to sit off and let them have the ball, but they're 11 men behind the ball.
Alistair Johnson down the right, plays it into the box. It's a chance for Celtic's going for another corner at that far side at the north stand. James Tavernier urging his players to...
Sometimes after a goal's conceded, you need to regroup. You need to be organised. Sometimes when you concede a goal, you start to run after it and people run out of positions. Rangers can't do this.
Corner kick will be taken by Lewis Palmer. Swing too much on it, Peter, and it's gone right out of play.
That's about 6 times he's done that in the last few games. I think that's about the 6 times. I know sometimes he tries to score, I understand that, but it is so frustrating when you've had an opportunity to put Rangers under pressure again. And as I say, Celtic are turning the screw a little bit at this moment in time. But Barry will tell you, this is the time you're talking about the concentration. Bernardo's been booked, Johnson's been booked. You need to keep these players on the pitch, because they make a slip, all of a sudden a player's off the pitch. So it's all these things come into it, especially in this game, when you think momentum's with you, you think everything's going with you, and all of a sudden it just changes. So you've got to keep in control of yourself and your emotions.
You're not going to beat Jack Butland, are you, from a corner kick? I wouldn't have thought. As the ball's back in play, it's played all the way back to Joe Hart. Hart, he's got options there with Liam Scales. Scales plays it across the back for the central defenders, playing it out to Welsh. Welsh, it's working this time to Alistair Johnson, the Canadian international who joined Celtic, a year ago, wasn't it? Just now, when he joined just after the World Cup.
Yeah, he's done terrific. I think the last few weeks he's not been at his best, I must admit. I know he had an injury and all that sort of thing, so he hadn't been at his best, and he's come back into the side. I still feel he's still up to the quality he's shown. I think he's been an outstanding signing. I think he's done exceptionally well. But I noticed earlier in the game when the ball was cleared, he was the last one coming out the box, and Rangers played it back in first time, so all Rangers players were on me about 5 yards.
That's concentration, isn't
absolutely,
it? Lack of it.
Absolutely.
As Rangers come forward now, there's 15 minutes to go until half time. The ball's whipped in by Yilmaz, headed away, but it's still in Rangers' possession. Todd Cantwell plays it right to Sterling. Sterling out to the right to McCausland. McCausland looks up, what are the options? Plays it far post, but too much on it. Seema can't get it.
I don't think that's the worst ball. I think Seema's got to gamble there at the back post. I really do. Because Dessers has went to make the front post run, then Seema has got to go and make the back post run. I thought it was a dangerous ball there.
Did you see he was standing in the middle of himself with James Tavernier, right in the centre of Celtic 6-yard box? He's all alone. That's why he gets the goals he does. When the ball goes out, everybody else picks up. He stays in the box because he knows the ball's still alive.
Peter, I don't know if they give you the Celtic TV, but here you get pies at half time.
Oh, I'd settle for that.
So they're on at the moment. Okay, just so you know. Yeah.
Barry's recommended them anyway.
Yeah, they're good. The steak pies, top class.
If this goes 2-0 Celtic, you're not getting one, Peter. That's what Barry's saying. Or if Rangers equalise, you can have 2. Yeah.
If it goes 2, I'm just walking out the studio. That's what I'm doing.
A long way to go. We're just, 1/3 of this match at Celtic Park, which is, as you would imagine, rocking at the moment. The Green Brigade came back against Livy, last weekend? Seems a while ago, but they did. And Peter, undoubtedly the atmosphere is back to what it was before.
The atmosphere was excellent. I mean, as I say, you've got to have the atmosphere. You've got to make it a place where people don't want to come to. We've all been there before. We understand the reasons why, or we don't understand the reasons why, whatever way you want to look at it. But for me, it'd be great if the Rangers fans were in as well, along with the Celtic fans, because we see, even at the Hibs and Hearts game the other night, how important it is, So I would love us to have behind the Rangers again, and vice versa, Rangers with Celtic.
Rangers fans, not there today. The Celtic fans are watching. Celtic 1-up. It's going to be a throw-in for Celtic, far side.
This is where you need a bit of calmness in the Rangers team. This is where the leaders need to stand up. And the boys round about them who have not got much experience in this fixture, they need to just make sure they're on side and they're calm in their situation, because Celtic now are starting to get a grip of the game big time.
And that's obviously the Connor Golsons, Lundstrom, Tavernier,
Big Butland, guys like that.
A Celtic break into the edge of the box. It's Greg Taylor in the box, plays it forward to Kyogo. Kyogo tries to get round a player, can't, and it's cleared. That was a chance, Peter.
I thought both players should have been more aggressive. Kyogo and I think it's Paulo Bernard. maybe it is even Greg Taylor. I just think when the ball's there to be won in the box, you've just got to go for it.
Why did they not hit that?
I know. I think you've just got to be more aggressive in what you're doing there. There, what I'm saying there.
Poor ball by Alistair Johnson's a chance. It's Dez's in the box. He's got Cantwell with him. Chance for Rangers. And he's gone down.
Hit it.
He took too long, Barry, and it's in the hands
look,
of
I know.
Hart.
I think he's aware he Cantwell making the run into the box here. But once he takes this touch here, he's got to hit it. He's took a touch too extra, and he's allowed Alistair Johnson, who played a horrendous ball, back. He's allowed him to get back in and get the challenge.
Peter?
Oh, he's very, very lucky, but I think we could have a problem here with Stephen Welsh. Stephen Welsh done a slide tackle, and actually looks as if he's done his shoulder. So this could be a problem for Celtic.
Warm up Navrosky at the moment, then,
absolutely,
Peter.
but it came, as I said to you earlier there about Alistair Johnson's concentration levels. A simple pass back that changes everything. All of a sudden, for Celtic dominating, all of a sudden they're looking on your backline, and Dessa should score.
Stephen Welsh, sorry, he is in trouble there, isn't he?
Oh,
you can tell.
I think he's done his shoulder the way he slid. He done it.
Yeah, he's speaking just now with the physio. You can the pain that he's in, and there's Navrosky warming
back
up.
That chance. In these sort of games, you might only get one chance, and he's got to have the attempt on goal. Look, I've backed him, and I think he's improved over the last couple of weeks. If you look here, he does great, nips in, but he's got to have an attempt. Look, I think he's unsure. He's unsure. He's thinking, well, I play to Cantwell, will I have attempt on goal? You're a centre forward. Have a pop on goal.
But he doesn't seem to be a natural predator so far.
I think it's just that confidence, Paul. When you're at best, you don't even think about it. You're through there, because there is nothing that Alistair Johnson can do, because he can't touch you. He's off the pitch if he touches you. So you've got all these things in your favour, and he's just got back in, and it's quite surprising that he's not taking the touch early.
We're seeing just a few moments ago,
he's laid that back for Kyogo. I think he's got to strike through that ball there. Yeah, he's dislocated his shoulder.
Yeah. So Peter Navrosky coming on, hasn't been seen for a long time, signed for what, £4 million?
Well, he's got to be ready, Paul. That's it. You don't get second chances in this game. You know what I mean? And this is what we're talking about, moments that can change these games. And when people tell you about what do you think the score will be, we don't know. Alistair Johnson's pass back, an injury, 2 bookings, early bookings, all these things become part of the game. Now you've got a boy going on, and I couldn't tell you when his last game was. So it's going to have to be a big performance, because there's no doubt Rangers are going to have a go at trying to put under pressure on the backline at Celtic, because this is a backline you wouldn't have thought was going to be thrown together. But it is, and he's just got to go in and perform. The biggest thing I would say to him is win your first header and make your simple passing. Keep it as simple as you possibly can, and that's all you can do in that position.
As you know, he was born in Germany, but he's a Polish youth international player. 35 minutes gone, Celtic have to make that substitution for Stephen Welsh, who's been so unlucky being injured early in the season. Comes back for the game here and at the weekend, and he's out. So Navrosky is on. 10 minutes till half time. The camera's on Sky showing us there Philippe Clement just at the pitch side, just speaking to his bench as Jack Butland clears it up over the halfway line. Liam Scales, it's a bit untidy there. Celtic got a break of the ball, and it's come to Greg Taylor down the left. What's the option? It's Palmer who's on the left. Some thought he would be the other way round, that Maeda would go down the left. Peter, would you make a change, or is it going well for Celtic and leave it as Celtic come forward again down the left? Matt O'Reilly looks forward to play it to Kyogo. It's headed away, but it's still with Maeda. Peter?
Yeah, I just think Alistair Johnson should have ran on the outside, not the inside, because there was no way Maeda could have made the pass inside, and that opened up the full pitch for him as in the box.
This is terrible ball by Scales, picked up by Tavernier, played it straight to the Rangers captain. He plays it
the ball
down the right, Barry.
I see what he's doing here.
I
think when Tavernier plays out of Dessers, he's got to take the Rangers up the pitch, drive 20-30 yards up the pitch, then wait for the support to come.
But untidy in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, if you're looking at both teams here, and I'd be saying to them, listen, look for your pass forward, because I think both teams are vulnerable with a forward pass into their back line or beyond their back line, and make them run into the space. Conditions and the players they're playing against don't like turning, and Celtic have got 2 young centre backs as in this type of game, and you can see there that Sima's made a run, and young, is it Narovsky, you say it, he never seen him. He never seen him. And if Tavernier picks a pass, he's through and goal. And that's the moments. And if I was both teams, that's what I'd be saying, because I've seen that with Rangers with Balogun going across too far, maybe relying on his pace.
Going forward, McCausland's got a chance. He's 1-on-1. McCausland, great chance for him, but it comes off a Celtic defender. Two defenders came up quickly, but it's still with Rangers. Through to Cantwell. Cantwell shoots, saved by Joe Hart. Two big chances, Barry.
Yeah, just a long ball for Jack Butland. I don't know where Celtic centre halves were, if I'm being honest with you. McCausland gambles, gets beyond Greg Taylor, and Celtic get it blocked. And then there's I don't know what Philip Clement's doing here. He's going off his head.
He's getting yellow card, I think.
This year it's just a nothing ball.
Yep.
And what McCausland does brilliantly is he gambles. Greg Taylor's switched off. It's a good block.
Wow.
I think they're asking for handball.
Just seeing the replays here. Philippe Clement not happy, speaking to the fourth official.
And then obviously Cantwell gets an
throw
opportunity there, and he strikes on goal.
Yeah.
Doesn't really bother Joe Hart.
Yep, yellow card, Philippe Clement.
Welcome to a Celtic Rangers match.
Exactly. I stay calm. I like to, everyone says that until they get into the heat of it. And there's a howler there, but it's gone back to Joe Hart. Who was that? Is that Nawrocki?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, maybe. Look, he's just been on 5 minutes, but Nawrocki there almost played the ball.
Well, I'm telling you, the managers that I played under, every one of them, if the centre halves were doing what these boys are doing, passing it back to the goalkeeper or passing it square to each other, he'd have ripped the head off them at half time and said, look forward and play forward. Give it to your fullback or give it to your midfield. That's your job, son, and then defend properly. I cannot believe the chances they're taking. And that's what I'm saying now. For Celtic being in control there, all of a sudden Rangers have got a wee bit of foothold again. They've had two or three fantastic chances out of absolutely nothing.
Yep, Celtic have been rattled at the back, losing Stephen Welsh.
I don't mind that for the manager either. He's showing a bit of passion on the sidelines. I'm into that. I like that. And listen, it looks to me if it's fired up the Rangers players in the last couple of minutes as well.
Leanne Balogun down the left.
This is where he can use his
plays
pace
it for
here.
Sima. It's going
He's
to be a
done
corner.
well, to be fair.
Yep, good tackle there from Nawrocki. Peter?
Done fantastic. I thought he was away from him, Sima, to be perfectly honest with you. I didn't know if he'd get the ball and hit it off Sima. We'll see on the second one. But Matt's going to be lucky if he gets away without the booking here. The referee played on.
From earlier on, the tackle on Balogun. Yeah, it is another yellow card. That's 3 yellow cards, Peter, in the first half. All Celtic players.
That's what I'm saying. This is when you've got to be in control.
Yep.
You can't keep breaking the game down and then getting silly bookings because we're giving cheap possession away in good areas. And if that's what's happened, every time we've given cheap possession away, somebody's either got a booking or an opportunity for Rangers. Now they've got a set play.
This is key. The delivery has got to be decent.
Cantwell is going to take it 5 minutes to go till half time. Connor Goldson's up there as you'd expect. Liam Scales is on him. Nawrocki. There's Dezers with Matt Torelli, who of course has just been booked. So here's the corner kick into the box, headed away, and falls for Bernardo, who then hoofs it up towards the halfway line. John Lundstrom gets to it first. Greg Taylor down on the right here, and it's gone out of play. It's going to be a throw in. Peter, what are you thinking there?
Well, I'm a bit edgy just now, Paul, because we've lost control of it there. And I thought before the goal we had good control and we were playing well. And then we get the goal and you think, great, fantastic. And then we started really well after we got the goal. And then all of a sudden, for that pass back, for Alistair Johnson, the game is swung on its head here. Then you've got, because obviously you get the injury to Welsh, you've had to bring on a new centre back. And Rangers are smelling a little bit of blood just now.
And down the right to McCausland. McCausland, edge of the box, takes on a player, shoots, and it's saved by Joe Hart and cleared, but it's still on the edge of the box. A real chance here. Rangers still in the attack. James Tavernier, he's got support in the shape of Sterling to Lundstrom. 30 yards out, chips it forward, trying to bring Sima into it. Sima and Johnson, and a tussle's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, see that McCausland, direct, positive. Strike on goal. It's a brilliant. It's a brilliant save. But Joe, strong hand, and that's where you want your centre forwards. Knowing about that area where Celtic have cleared it, but that was real good play by McCausland. I like that. As soon as he gets the ball, Paul, his first thought is, "I'm attacking the fullback."
I don't know what the referee's holding the game up for here.
Is it a VAR check? Oh, what they're looking at here, and they're looking for a handball, or Sima and Alistair Johnson.
Yeah.
Give his break. If he's going to give a penalty for that, for God's sake.
nothing in it, Barry, is there?
No, well, I'm the same,
Yeah.
but you know the way that decisions go, Paul. This penalty, the handball inside the box.
He would be off then as well.
Yep, exactly.
And that's exactly what we said, these moments.
No, play on, says the
Yeah,
referee. But you do have, the game's changed now.
It is,
VAR
it's
just
crazy.
sees everything, yeah. And Alistair Johnson, you've been critical of him, Peter Grant, because he has made a few mistakes, and you'll have to be really careful. But referee Nick Walsh says play on. 3.5 minutes left in the first half. Plus stoppage.
Listen, as we said, Paul, they're very, very fortunate. They've been very lucky. You know, Celtic, since we've scored the goal, the injury to Welsh has caused a wee bit of mayhem, to be perfectly honest with you. But I can't believe the decisions that certain players are making. I know that it's a big game for a lot of them for the first time. They're always going to just come in, play forward. If I was Callum and that now, say, listen, get the ball out to Alistair Johnson. But Alistair Johnson's probably been the starter of it, the nervousness with the bad pass back. And it caused the injury, obviously, with Stephen Welsh trying to get and win the ball. But everything negative for Celtic so far, Alistair Johnson's been at the heart of it.
Yep.
And that's very unlike him, because he's been outstanding for Celtic.
And on a booking, would you have to think of a change at half-time? And Barry, do Rangers smell blood maybe before half-time? But it's Celtic coming forward, up over the halfway line. Celtic 1 up. And the goal coming from Paulo Bernardo as Celtic come forward. Nawrocki to Maeda. Maeda to Callum McGregor. McGregor looks to play it to Palma. I think it's going just as far as the head of Tavernier. Tavernier loses out though to Bernardo. It's played forward, looking to bring in good play there, good defensive play, Barry.
Yeah, I like that for the young man. It's easy to switch off at times, but one thing about young McCausland is he does the defensive work really well as well, Paul.
He started the game very well, to be fair, and it was a fantastic save for Joe Hart, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
And the thing is, it was, as Barry said, your strikers have got to be in there, but the defender was thankfully was there first to get the ball away.
When he's striking the ball, they've got to sniff blood.
Oh, definitely.
Strikers.
Definitely.
Here's Yilmaz up towards the halfway line, tries to play it to Sima. Sima goes down, takes it quickly.
I think he's got one more foul in him.
That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. Barry, again, the referees gave about 3 free kicks against him now, since he's been booked.
Yeah.
And I think Brendan will change it.
If you're Tony Ralston, are you getting ready at half time?
He done it, I think, was it last week or the week before he done it against Hearts, I think.
Yeah, I think you would be thinking of that. 2 players have gone down there. We're going to see what happened. The Rangers, in fact, it's young Ross McCausland along with Callum McGregor. I think it's going to be a free kick. Let's see the replay. He was in late.
I think when he's made the pass, he's slid as well. It's a free kick.
Yeah, it's a free kick for Rangers. Yeah.
It's easy for a young man to roll about there.
Yeah, absolutely.
He got back
to be
up.
fair to a young man, he's just bounced back up.
Ross the boss, is that what you're going to call him? Ross McCausland.
Paul, there's nothing better than seeing a young player come through the system, and I've got to be honest with you, I've been so impressed with him.
He's refreshing.
He is. He's just energetic. He's really positive. What I love about him is when he receives that ball, he's got one thought and one thought only, and that's to attack who he's playing against.
Paulo Bernardo.
Generally, you see players now in the wide area just want to pass the ball back and let other guys swing it into the box.
Injury time free kick for Rangers up to the edge of the box. Bit of pushing going on. Now this is where the goal came, as you know, at Ibrox a few months ago. It was the first goal of the game. It was Kyogo. Are Rangers going to bite back? Celtic are 1 up. We've got just over a minute of injury time to go. 2 minutes added on by Nick Walsh. Celtic will want to get in, Peter, without any further bookings.
Well, absolutely. And I think Brendan will have to settle him down as well, because since the goal, or since the mistake for Alistair Johnson, I keep going on about, that they've been really poor. They've had no control. Rangers have had a couple of opportunities to score goals. Joe's had to make a big save. And that's what you've got to be very, especially when you've changed your back line.
As Celtic tried to get the last play of the first half, 45 seconds to go up over the halfway line, but Rangers well intercepted, and it's John Lundstrom forward to Todd Cantwell. Cantwell tries to get away from Callum McGregor, plays it to Balogun to Lundstrom. How's Lundstrom doing for you, Barry? He was a late fitness.
He's key for me, Paul. He's been excellent. As I said, he's been alongside Tavernier. He's been Rangers' most consistent performer, and it was important that he came back in the fold today.
Lewis Palmer baffles some people. He had a chance there, Peter. It just came off him when he could have been put through there.
It was true, because James Tavernier was caught out of position, and it's his reaction after it was disappointing at first.
He's not fighting for it. So what's happening? We've played the 47 minutes. There's going to be a free kick for Rangers. Sterling looking at the referee. We'll wait to see what's happening.
I think the Lingrens gave the free kick, which was quite surprising. You can tell with Callum McGregor's reaction.
Is there anything in it?
Well, he's not got the ball, to be fair, but
okay.
The player's put his leg in, which you're saying if it's for your own team, you're looking for a free kick for sure. But Celtic have given far too many free kicks away in these areas, but both sides of the pitch. You know, and you're hoping, because I'm looking at you, you've got Balogun against Bernard, things like this, you know, and it's just, he's about 4 or 5 inches bigger than him.
James Tavernier's.
The good thing is he's not got any quality on him so far coming into the box, where usually his quality's top drawer.
Rangers choreographing this, Barry. They know exactly who they want.
I think Tavernier's saying there that he needs a front post runner if he underhits it. Because sometimes that happens. The delivery's got to be good. At Shilmas this time.
Into the box, headed away, but it's still there. Cantwell. The ball is in the net, but already the referee saw offside and the hand has gone up. That will be the last play of the first half. Celtic
I'm disappointed in Rangers' delivery for set pieces. Generally it's very good. I'm sure that's something the manager will not be too happy about.
Tavernier, I know it wasn't him there. He's not been in point, has he? Normally his deliveries
as you
are
say,
better.
I think we've given them massive chances to it, because if you're saying areas not to give free kicks around, that's where Celtic have given every one of them away in the dangerous areas, especially when you've got the quality that James Tavernier has got. And Yilmaz has seemed like got a good left foot as well.
48 minutes 42 seconds are up at half time. The camera's there on Sky on Paulo Bernardo, who scored the only goal of the game so far, and it came in 25 minutes. As we see the teams heading off the pitch, we'll give analysis opportunities to Peter Grant and to Barry Ferguson. Half time, Celtic 1, Rangers 0.
The Go Radio Football Show with Global Eco Energy. For your free energy home survey and bespoke quote, call 0800 233 5788.
Let's go! Global Eco Energy are your renewable energy specialists. Working with Eco4 and Home Energy Scotland to offer grants and funding, we specialise in heat pump, solar and battery installations, as well as internal, external and cavity wall insulation. Prices starting from as little as £4,995 for solar PV and from £8,995 for a heat pump installation. For a free quote, free survey and to find out more about grants and funding options, call 0800 233 5788. Global Eco Energy are your renewable energy specialists. Working with Eco4 and Home Energy Scotland to offer grants and funding, we specialise in heat pump, solar and battery installations, as well as internal, external and cavity wall insulation. Prices starting from as little as £4,995 for solar PV and from £8,995 for a heat pump installation. For a free quote, free survey and to find out more about grants and funding options, call 0800 233 5788.
The Go Radio Football Show with Global Eco Energy. For your free energy home survey and bespoke quote, call 0800 233 5788.
Let's go!
Well, the world is watching Glasgow, the football world anyway. It's the biggest and the best, we believe, in the world. And with us here, we've got two people who've played in many of them, Peter Grant of Celtic and Barry Ferguson, who led Rangers to much success as well. We'll speak to you after. You can call Barry and Peter. Who's going to win? Celtic are 1 up at half-time. The goal coming from Paulo Bernardo in 25 minutes. Took it really well. But then just moments later, an injury to Celtic. Stephen Welsh had to go off injured and Nawrocki has come on. Celtic have 3 bookings in the first half. Alistair Johnson and Matt O'Reilly. And there was Bernardo as well for his celebrations just after getting the goal. Peter, enjoy that excellent pie. I had a little bit there, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Tasting brilliant, Paul. So
it sounds good. Sounds like enjoying it. Barry, for Rangers' first half, there's a lot of good things in it for Rangers, but they switched off at the set piece.
Yeah, just 5 minutes before, obviously, Bernardo scored the goal. I thought Celtic started to get a foothold in the game. I've watched it now twice on the TV. And it's a poor goal seamer. I think he knows when it hits the back of the net, he blasts the ball back into the net. He knows he should have done better with the header. And then obviously they've had 2 really good opportunities. One from McCausland, who's done really well in taking Greg Taylor on and made Joe Hart make a really good save. And then the Dessers one where he's got to make Joe Hart save. make a save, at least have an attempt on goal. So he's took one touch too many, and he's allowed Alistair Johnson to get back in. But I think Rangers finished the half strongly. And if I'm looking at Celtic's back four at this moment in time, I'm going at them. That's got to be the attitude in the Rangers dressing room at half time. Johnson, whether he makes that change, if he stays on, I'm saying to see him every time you get the ball, you take him on. Nawrocki at the back looks shaky, in my opinion. So Dessers has got to play on him. And I think young McCausland has gave Greg Taylor a hard time on a few occasions. So Rangers are still in the game. It's only 1-0, but they need to do better in the second half.
Any other winners so far for you from Rangers? How's Cantwell been? In and
He's
out?
did okay.
Yeah.
I want to see more from him.
Yep.
That's his position. I need to see him create more, have more attempts on goal, have a bigger influence on big games. I think overall Rangers, the manager will be expecting more of all the players that are on that pitch, certainly in the second half. But as I said, they've certainly finished the half strongly, and they need to continue that going into the second half.
Peter, what are you thinking about Rangers and what they might do? They're not going to make a change at half time. Do you think Celtic will make that change?
I think they will. That's just my opinion and knowing the way Brendan works, and it's a big blow because Alistair Johnson's a very good player. But as I say, I think, as I said earlier on, there was one of the times the ball come back in. Whether he's 100% fit, I don't know. The ball come back in. He was 5 yards behind everyone, and it was just a ball that had been cleared out from a corner, and he was 5 yards. And usually everybody comes up in the line together. That set alarm bells ringing in my head, and then he gave the pass back. So maybe there's something we don't know. And as managers, I've been there when you've had a player that's been ill or not slept well the night before. All these things. But that's definitely the way I felt he played the first half, you know. But if I'm Rangers manager and you're thinking, right, how can I hurt Celtic this second half? I think you've got to play forward. You've got to ask questions of Celtic's backline. That's what you've got to do. And if I'm Celtic, I've got to get control of the football with the football players we have in the middle of the pitch. And when we get in there, make they forward passes, make they crosses in the box, make Rangers defend, and don't give silly set plays away.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I've seen the Alistair Johnson handballings, and I think that's a penalty, Paul. I do.
Was that his hand?
Yeah, I think, granted, mentioned, I think he's got to deal with that early. He shouldn't let that ball bounce in the box. He's just got to head that or clear it wherever it goes, up in the air or into Rose head. And I think it's a clear handball.
Well, he's definitely gave the referee a decision to make.
Yeah.
That's for sure, because when he swung round, as if his hand's coming up to that area. And listen, we've seen them given, there is absolutely no doubt of that. But yet again, he put himself in that position with doing that, where I think we were always told when the ball's at its highest, just go and meet it, don't let it bounce. As a defender, don't let it bounce in your box or whatever. And that gives you a problem. It definitely did give Alistair Johnson a problem.
Joe Hart's done well for Celtic, hasn't he? A couple of vital moments for him.
He'd won with his feet, which he does very well. But he had a great save from McCausland, because McCausland's done everything right, and he's driven it low and hard. And Joe's got down very, very well. And people say he's whatever age he is now and he lacks this and lacks that. But I've told you, in every big game he's produced a performance, and there's no doubt in my mind that he's a big time player.
On the bench for Celtic, Bain, Abada, and I'm going to ask you about him. Will he come on? Yang, Turnbull, Nawrocki's on already. Hattati. Do you think Hattati would come on, or Abada? Was there any need to make that change?
Well, I think the three central midfield players have done well. I've not been that sure with Maeda. I said that to you the last couple of games. I know it's difficult when you're out for a period of time trying to go up to speed, and I understand that. There was a couple of times he had an opportunity to go by in a 1v1. The one at the back post, he gets in at the back post and he does that very well. I'd love to see Abada come on. And I know it brings a different type of energy, but he's still a goal threat. He's direct, and as I say, it depends how much he's trained. I don't know about that, but obviously I understand why Maeda's playing, because he gives you that energy. But I've not seen that in his performance. He's not, and I think Yilmaz is there for the taking defensively.
Half time, 1-0 to Celtic. You can't change your prediction, but you thought maybe a draw, Peter?
Well, I hope I'm wrong now, because I said 1-1. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong.
Could be right. And Barry, 2-1, you think, for Rangers? Not going to change it, but they'll have to go some now as the teams come, Rangers
Celtic
come back
middle
out.
to front are really dangerous, but I think defensively they're really suspect, Paul. And that's an area where Rangers need to go and do something about, because they've got the strength of Dessers, and they've got certainly the pace, McCausland and Sima, do a bit of damage. So I'm sure the manager will be drilling that into them at half time. So we'll see now. That's them the way out. We'll see how this second half, this 45 minutes goes, because it's a big 45 minutes for Rangers.
Yep, and for this Bernardo coming out, Peter, you're watching no doubt for Alistair Johnson, or is it going to be Tony Rawson?
No, it's Alistair still on there. Alistair still on there. He made that quick change. He's got to be very careful, and as we've said many times, these are the small details that can cost you the game or win you the game, you know, and that's so important. And hope his experience tells him, I've got to get there, I've got to stay on my feet, I've got to put myself in position, because he can't go into even a 50-50 now, because it's all about timing now. Everyone's got to be perfect for Alistair Johnson, because as Barry spoke about, he's with probably 2 free kicks or 3 free kicks since the yellow card, you know, and it's something that definitely the referee will be looking at.
And that handball obviously has been a feature of it, which you didn't see at first. Nobody did.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen countless replays, Paul, and for me, I'm not just saying it with my blue tinted specs on here. I honestly think it's a penalty.
You're always fair.
Well, I'd be claiming it if it was me.
Exactly.
You know, absolutely, I'd be claiming it, and I just think it's back. Yeah, again, it's bang average defending, and I think you can't do that as a defender.
He should have been putting himself in that situation.
Absolutely,
that's what you said, Peter. That's some pie, isn't it? Steak pie.
New Year's coming.
Okay, on you go. Give Peter a few moments. Barry will be quite happy if Rangers are on the ball. Yeah, getting ready. I see Brendan Rodgers there, just shaking hands with the ball boy and the girl there. And what's he telling them, Barry? If it's a Celtic throw, and get it straight back in, and if it's for Rangers, no, I'm joking.
That's the stuff that you do, Paul. You do anything to try and win a game of football.
It's brilliant football, isn't it? You know, for everyone involved in the game as it gets underway.
I thought the first half it was a bit of quality, but the energy levels was really good. I mean, 2 teams were having a right go at each other. As I said, Celtic began to get a foothold in it. That's when they got their goal. I thought it was poor defending by Rangers, and then towards the end of the first half, Rangers certainly come into the game with a few mistakes from Celtic.
Well, as things stand at the moment, there would be 8 points between them if that was to be the case, but there's 45 minutes to go as the game is now underway, and then they start to think about Celtic playing St Mirren, the last game 5 o'clock on Tuesday before the break, and Rangers at 3 o'clock against Kilmarnock. I wonder what the shape of things are going to be by then. So Global Radio, Global Eco Energy with us here on Go Radio. That was always going to happen at one point this season. Yeah, no, I wasn't actually. I know.
Well, you should have.
Well, it should have been. As Celtic come forward over the halfway line, the ball's played out to the right to Dyson Maeda. It settles down again. It's quite quiet there in the background at the moment. It was not the case after 25 minutes when Bernardo scored. As Celtic come forward, Kyogo, edge of the box, strikes and scores. Kyogo had scored 1 minute 17 seconds into the second half. The ball played through to him. The Japanese striker scores from the edge of the box. 2-0 Celtic.
What a wonderful finish, you know. And we talk about players being out of form or whatever, and I keep saying he keeps getting into good areas. But for him, this is even a spectacular finish with his left foot. He's moved on to his left. And to beat someone like Jack Butland, who's been outstanding, is a magnificent finish.
Barry took it so well, just looking at the ball there. He had 2 men round him.
I know everybody's going to talk about the finish. Watch his movement.
Yep.
Connor Golson think he's going with him, and then he checks back, gets himself that couple of yards, Grant, if you watch it.
Absolutely.
And listen, take nothing away for the finish. It's a brilliant finish. Jack gets his fingertips to it. But it's the movement, it creates that opportunity for me.
Oh, wonderful goal. As you said, Barry, fantastic movement. And he's more than capable of it. It's interesting because Barry was saying about him getting in after him in the first half. Now you're around about the 18-yard box, you're saying that's when you've got to engage, that's when you've got to be tight. But his movement gives him that couple of yards, because I think Golson thinks he's going to run front. And he checks back and then gives himself that. And it's a good pick out, the pass.
It's old school centre forward play.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Going long to come short, he creates that couple of yards. He obviously fools Connor Golson into that. And he takes it on his weaker foot. And it's a finish that Jack Butland's got no chance of saving.
So, Peter Grant, what is Celtic? What's the message just now for Celtic? 2 up.
Keep calm, keep playing forward, keep getting it to the wide players, making Rangers defend, and we keep saying that. And it was all forward passes. They never went square across the back, they looked forward. And you have to do that in these particular games, because you want to take the opposition out of the play. And that's exactly, I think it's Matt O'Reilly who's played the pass in. Kyogo. He's lifted his head and he's well up, bang, straight into the striker's feet after good movement, of course. But there's still a lot of work to do, but wonderful, wonderful finish.
For Rangers, Barry, what does the manager do? He's maybe looking to the bench as well. They'd want to bite back soon, pull one back.
Yeah, again, I always say it, Paul, no matter if you go 1-0 down or 2-0 down, this next 5 minutes is crucial for Rangers. What you don't want is you going and looking and chasing the ball for no reason. Just make sure you keep your shape, and then the game will eventually settle down again, and then you need to try and get on the ball, get the ball players on it, like guys who can make a difference. McCausland, Seema, Cantwell, but it's the ideal start, let's be honest, for Celtic. It's calmed a bit of nerves, which I'm sure was there towards the end of the first half.
They certainly were, weren't they? You could feel that.
Absolutely, yep. I could feel it myself, and maybe something the manager looks at now, Alistair Johnson's situation, because again, you can be in total control, but you don't want to lose a player. And obviously Celtic are dominating the ball just now. It's a fantastic start to the second half, exactly everything Brendan would have wanted. But you know what these games can turn in a split second.
So Rangers trying to regain possession, but Matt O'Reilly does well, plays it out to the right to Dyson Maeda. Maeda, a little flick, keeps the ball in play, plays it infield to Alistair Johnson. Johnson looks for options. Who's behind him? It's Greg Taylor. Plays it out to Paulo Bernardo, who scored Celtic's first goal in 25 minutes, out to the left to Lewis Palma. Palma can't get past James Tavernier. You wonder if there will be a change soon. If you bring on Tony Ralston, why?
Something I'd definitely be looking at, There is no doubt in my mind that, because that's the small, as we keep talking about the details, it can change these games. And you don't want to give Rangers a foothold at anything, whether it's a player extra or whatever. Or Alistair's got to use his vast experience playing in World Cups. Does he just calm himself, play his position, and just let the ball do the work?
What would you do, Granny, in that situation?
I would take him off, because I think he's got one more free kick in him, and he'll get a red.
Yeah.
And that's my only concern. If he hadn't had any more free kicks since the yellow, I'd be okay. But I just think the way things are in the game, the simple things, how these turn, and I've seen it, Barry, you've played in them on many occasions as well, how they have turned in a simple thing like that.
Celtic play out from defence. They do it well on this occasion. Barry, I'm going to look at the Rangers bench in a moment or two. What are the options for the manager as Celtic come forward? Out to Liam Scales, down the left. He's looking up for options. Bernardo goes on a run. So does Greg Taylor. It's Lewis Palma now. Plays it to the far post where Maeda connects. It's still Maeda. He's got Yilmaz with him. Looks up for options. Maeda, he's been quieter, hasn't he, Peter?
Yeah, he has been very quiet, and I think maybe that's the reason Brendan played him on the right hand side. He was obviously desperate to play him, and maybe that's why he's kept him on the right, because he knows he's not up to speed yet, and he thinks Palmer's maybe to get the game legs in to go back if James Tavernier starts running forward, and that's why he's probably kept him on that side of the pitch. I can see the reasons why.
Played through for Kyogo, but he can't slip it through as Rangers come up towards the halfway line, but Liam Scales collects for Celtic and plays it through, looking for Palma. It's the Go Radio Football Show with Global Eco Energy. Celtic 2, Rangers 0. 52 minutes gone at Parkhead as Lundstrom, good ball out to the right to Cantwell, up over the halfway line. He's got Scales there, he gets past Scales, plays it through for Dezes, but not a great ball. But Rangers win. A throw in, Barry. And they would look to... I'm just looking at the bench.
I'm looking at the bench as well, Paul.
There's not many options, are there?
Yeah, you've obviously got a bit of pace with Matondo and Wright. I would keep it as it is for the next 10 minutes or so.
As Rangers come up over the halfway line, but the ball play has stopped.
I need to see a wee bit more aggression
from Rangers.
I need to see a willingness to go and grab the game. I know it's a kick in the sore ones. We conceding a goal so early in the second half.
Peter, what's holding up just now? O'Reilly.
That's a sore one. That see when somebody's cleared the ball and it's on his toe and it opens that medial there.
Yeah.
I hope that'd be a massive blow if we lose Matt O'Reilly. That's for sure.
So we're waiting to see what the verdict is. So
I think it would have been offside or something.
For
the Rangers. Oh, is this for earlier?
Yeah, that was one earlier. Yeah, that was one earlier they're looking at, but I'm not sure.
So they're saying that would have been offside?
I think that's what they're saying, Paul.
Yeah.
I've got my cans on, so...
Yeah. I know James might hear it over there on the telly. No.
Yeah, I think they were saying that it was slightly offside. I'm not so sure, because you've got to remember it's when the ball leaves his foot.
Yeah.
I don't think the ball had left his foot yet.
Celtic 2, Rangers 0. 53.5 minutes gone in the derby. We're just
There's still plenty of time.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
For Rangers, they can't start feeling sorry for themselves. There's still a lot of football to be played, but they need to get a grip of the game as quickly as possible.
Loads of you in the cars heading to the other games this afternoon. Motherwell against Livingston, Kilmarnock against Dundee, Killie on such a great run, 4th top of the table, Hearts against Ross County, and Aberdeen against St Mirren up there, and they would love to take some points. It's been a tough December for St Mirren after a brilliant start to the season.
Yeah, it has been, but listen, you know what they do, they'll always give their maximum, try to do the right things, they'll work really, really hard as a group. And listen, I think there's a piece of paper between everybody outside Celtic and Rangers. You know, they're all capable of beating each other on a particular day. And it's the one you get that little bit of fortune. You know, you need your best players to play well on the day, and that doesn't matter what team you are. But I think there's no golf between any of the other teams, if you understand what I'm trying to say. You know, Celtic Rangers, yes, there is, but the rest of them, I don't think there's a golf.
Livy are in danger of ending in that, well, the bottom of the table. If they lose to Motherwell today, it is looking grim. We spoke about it last night with you, Barry, on the programme. Matt O'Reilly still getting treatment. That's been quite some time. That's 3 or 4 minutes, Peter.
Well, I thought actually, see, the ball hits his toe here, you know, and you think, oh, it's that. But it's a swinging elbow or swinging arm, but it's an accident. It's totally accidental. But his arms come round and hit him, and it's a sore one. You're not going to say he's got a big nose, but he will have one now. Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's took one right.
But it was totally accidental.
Yeah. Thank you, James. Coffee time during the match here. Philippe Clement, huge moments for him though, Barry, isn't it? He hasn't tasted defeat.
No, he's not. But sometimes this makes a team, Paul. And I think he'll look at the team and know that he needs to strengthen. I think he knows that before the game, but getting in with the confidence that Rangers had and the mentality that they've shown over the 9 or 10 weeks since the new manager's been in it, I think he'll be disappointed, certainly with the first goal they conceded, Paul. I think that's avoidable. I know it's a brilliant finish, take nothing away from him, but you've got to defend that better. And then the second goal, to be honest with you, is just a bit of brilliant movement from Kyogo to create his space, and then his strike on goal Jack Butland's got absolutely no chance of.
Matt O'Reilly, what's the latest, Peter? We see him going
looking out there, look a bit concerned, really, you know, as if they're going to make a change. I hope that's not the case. Hopefully it is just can be, obviously if you're bleeding you're not allowed on the pitch, but hopefully you can stop that bleed in Matt Field, because listen, you could be, I've seen stars actually, the way he was hit there's absolutely no doubt in my mind of that. But as I say, I'm hoping they don't need to replace him, because he gives you that calmness and confidence you need in this particular game.
Is it true your game improved when you were seeing stars? What happened there,
I played
Barry?
along with a lot of stars apart from myself.
What happened there, Barry?
Sloppy for big corner. Obviously Jack Butland's played the ball out. He's tried to switch it to Yilmaz, and obviously he's put it out the park. It's just sloppy for Rangers. They can't allow that to creep into the game,
because Celtic could nip in and get a third, which would be game over. Although if Rangers can hold at the moment and start to press Celtic, then they're capable of getting a goal and to pressure the Celtic defence, which had to change because Welsh went off, Nawrocki is on, and they were struggling a little bit, Peter.
Yeah, absolutely they were. You know, there's absolutely no doubt that. But I think the silence that Barry gave you when talking about the bench, that tells you enough with Rangers' bench. When you're talking about Celtic, if the boys are up to speed, you're talking about Hatate, Abada, you know. I like I must admit, I think he's got something about him. But they've got people that can change. You don't need to think about. You can play them in there. You've had David Turnbull's had a lot of games. You know, all these guys can come on, and your hope would affect the game. If you're looking at Rangers, you're starting to say, right, who do we replace? The strongest guys are on the pitch now. Do they go with something slightly different? Go with a little bit more pace? Maybe take out a Cantwell, you know, and put someone else further up the pitch, you know, and put Dessers through the middle, not Dessers, Simmer through the middle, you know, to change it a little bit, because obviously they need to score goals in this period.
Here come Rangers down the left, long ball into the box, looking for Dessers, but it's headed away by Celtic. 1-0 by Lundstrom. Midway inside the Celtic half, 58 minutes gone. Celtic are 2 up in the derby, and it's back to Balogun just inside the Rangers half. He plays it to Golson out to Tavernier to McCausland. We saw so much of him in the first half, not so much in the second, but Rangers now. Yilmaz down the left. Maida, though, backtracking with him, but he does well. Yilmaz breaks just to the edge of the box, but it breaks down. McCausland, though, on the ball. Barry, Rangers a good spell in the last 60 seconds.
Yeah, McCausland's come off his perch and come inside and created a bit of room for himself. Yilmaz with a good drive and run. It was just that final pass for McCausland.
Lundstrom out to Tavernier. He heads it down, trying to bring...
This is what they've got to do, Paul. They're putting a bit of pressure now. You can't be giving balls away like that.
Cantwell lost out there, but good tackle by Sterling. Although it's when
you're in the final
free
third,
kick,
you've got to be decisive. You've got to make sure it gets to your midfield partner or whoever's playing beside you. That was slack for Cantwell there.
I wouldn't be surprised if the manager changed it, because he's had a poor start to the second half. And when you're expecting him to step up, I think he's had a poor start to it and he'll be frustrated. And there was a couple of times he gave the ball away and sort of held his leg or whatever. And Clement's always talked about, that energy, that fire, that you've got to keep going and chase the ball back as soon as you lose it, all these things. And Todd's not done that on a couple of occasions when he's actually given the ball away.
Dujon Sterling, Barry, he got a yellow card there. Yeah. So,
I think he's done pretty well in the middle of the pitch, Paul. I've been really impressed by him. It's a foreign position to him. He's generally a full-back or a centre-back, but I think he's come into that central midfield area and certainly made an impact. 60
minutes on the clock now. Celtic leading by 2-0. So Rangers getting a bit of possession in the last couple of minutes, coming forward over the halfway line. Todd Cantwell again, but there's a push and it's going to be a free kick to Celtic, as the Celtic fans do. Is that the Poznan they call it, the away from the
the huddle. I think it's to get the huddle with the full stadium. It'd be nice. Rangers just come in the last couple of minutes, starting a wee bit of a foothold in it, and you're looking at it and you're just thinking Celtic have to concentrate. Narowski got a good block in for McCausland, because McCausland looked dangerous at the time.
Here comes Lundstrom over the halfway line. Who's with him?
He's got to be direct.
Seema into the box to Dessers. Good chance, but it hits the side netting for the big striker Dessers.
Yeah, at least he's direct here. He should have been doing that in the first half of the opportunity. He commits a defender and then he has a pop on. He's got to hit the target, but he's got to make Joe save.
Well, people say to you, Baz, if you're going to miss in that position, go across the goal.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. Because if the keeper saves it, comes back into play, all these wee simple things. And that'll probably be the thing that he's got down the left-hand side twice now. Good areas. You've got to make sure the keeper's working at least.
The hour mark has come and gone, so we do look for any changes in both sides. As Celtic now back in possession. Taylor plays it all the way back to Nawrocki, but he didn't look too comfortable in the ball there. Greg Taylor did well, Peter, to regain possession.
Yeah, and to be fair, Nawrocki's got himself in good position a couple of times at the edge of the box and got a couple of interceptions, to be fair to the kid. And it can't be easy for the period of time he's been out, asked to come in. And it's okay maybe if you're playing along with an experienced one, but Scales is an experienced one now, who's had a season with Aberdeen obviously and played very, very well this season. But that experience of Carter, Vickers pulling and dragging you about positionally, especially in a game like this, is so vital.
Peter, you see the value of Kyogo, player of the year last season, and in that moment when he scored just over a minute into the second half, and that could be the deciding factor in this game. As Celtic come forward looking for goal number 3, Rangers would love to break to get their first of the afternoon, and they've got a chance here as the ball is cleared, but only as far as Scales. We're watching it on Sky. Some great coverage there with Ian Crocker and co. This is Go Radio with Global Eco Energy. How's Matt O'Reilly looking there, Peter? We saw a close up.
It looks as if his nose could be broke, actually. But as I said, there was absolutely no intent whatsoever. And the boy didn't deserve a booking or anything like that from it, but it was just a flare in the arm as he tried to turn. But the thing you spoke about Kyogo, we said it before, I don't think he's out of form. If you give him the service, he will score. That's the way he is. That's the type of player he is, and he's got that quality. But in saying that, I still think it's a wonderful, wonderful finish. Barry's talked about his movement, which was exceptional. It's small details like that. But to finish the way he did with his left foot by a goalkeeper of the quality of Butland, is phenomenal.
What's happened there, Barry? Golson's down.
He's late into Golson. He's been already booked.
Bernardo. Yep. So Bernardo in.
No, I thought he went over the top. No, he's not went over the top there.
Yeah. That's where VAR is really important, because to the naked eye it looks as though...
Yeah, it looked there, but then again, you make a good point, Paul. Yep. You think his studs have connected with his shin or whatever, but it's clearly not.
He's not even lifted his foot there, is he, when he's done it? As you say, I was a bit concerned there, but as you say, he's went to clear the ball and then kicked Bernardo, you know. But to be fair, I think the referees refereed it quite well. The penalty kick would be a decision. Yeah. The penalty kick would be a decision that you would have to think, I'm not sure of that one. But apart from that, I think he's refereed it quite well.
He's a good referee. I said that the other night in the show, a few nights ago, and people went, okay. I think Nick Walsh has been maybe the most consistent the last couple of seasons. As Rangers come forward, Desert's edge of the box, the ball's played out towards Lundstrom, but the player's gone down. Sima clutching his face there. Would have to see the replay. You would need eyes everywhere, wouldn't you? The pace of this game. Alistair Johnson up there. If this is an infringement by Johnson, look, they both went for the ball. Barry, what do you think?
Look, I think he's going for the ball, but his elbow's clearly connected with Seema's face. Peter?
My concern is that the fact that the referee's given a free kick. If the referee's given a free kick, he's going to say it's an elbow. Yeah. And he's already been booked. That's my problem. And I said that, you know, I think he's been one of these days, and I'm a big fan of his, but I think he's been really sloppy. And I hate saying that about players because you don't know if they're not feeling the greatest. And he just looks off the pace today for some reason, you know.
Tavernier's saying to Golson, leave it. I'm telling the referee. Tavernier is saying to the referee, if you book him, he has to go. Yeah, actually, when you see it from an angle now, Barry, that does look as though that elbow's up. Peter, there's an angle
when you see it from behind there, but as people talk about, as soon as he shows slow motion, it looks completely different. Yeah, but he is a lot. If you're doing it from the front, he could be lucky.
We'll wait to see what's going to happen here. Seema has been down for 3 minutes now.
I'm just really surprised when Celtic went 2-0 up that Alistair Johnson's still on the pitch.
This is exactly as I mean.
They've got a replacement.
Exactly.
They've got a backup.
And I'm more than capable. I'm more than capable.
Peter, you've gone blue in the face.
That's a first.
No, that's no blue.
You have. You've gone blue in the face. You've been saying it for half an hour.
Because I just think that's the way his game has been, if you understand what I'm saying. And sometimes you can sense it if it's somebody's game is going that way, they're not having the greatest of games. Sometimes, and especially if you had a yellow card playing that position against arguably Rangers' most dangerous forward, you've got to make sure you're covering that.
Barry, what's the switch for Rangers? Dill?
I think it could be Cantwell coming off and Dill going in to replace him. That's the only change I can see happening, Paul, if I'm being honest.
They're checking.
They've confirmed it's offside.
Yeah. So
if it wasn't offside, it would have been a penalty.
Yeah. Wow. So it's been stopped now for 4 minutes? We're just seeing it again.
So that's why they've not went to VAR, because obviously they've looked at offside first.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Seema's okay. He's been down for.
Yeah, it's very unlike him.
He's getting up now, thankfully.
But I'm saying, if Nick Walsh has seen that and he's down and he's given the free kick, well, what's he giving the free kick for? He's going to say, well, it was an elbow. And if it's an elbow, it's a booking or a red card. You know, and I've got to be fair. If it was a player for Rangers against the Celtic, I'd be saying the exact same thing, you know.
Yeah, it's clear to me. Listen, I'll say it. I'm not just saying it because for a Rangers point of view, but I would be absolute fuming that he's still on the pitch.
Chance for Rangers here. 67 minutes gone. It's going to be a free kick for Rangers. James Tavernier is just looking probably to take it. Yilmaz is there as well. Peter, are you all right about that? Somebody lying down in the wall. I know.
Well,
I'm not sure.
all I would do, see if you dink the ball over the wall.
Yeah.
They all fall over him.
Sure. Here we go. Watching this. Celtic 2 up. Rangers chance to come back in.
He's got to make Joe Hart save. Yeah.
It's going to be Tavernier, isn't it? Here he comes. Takes 3 steps. Shoots straight into the wall. Comes back to Yilmaz, who plays it to Lundstrom. Lundstrom 30 yards out. Dinks it forward. It's still bobbing about, and it's going to be cleared by Greg Taylor. That was a chance, though, wasn't it, Barry, to hit the target, to do better?
Yeah, again, generally, we've spoke about, he said a couple of free kicks in the wide areas. His delivery's not been up to scratch, and generally when he gets a free kick 20, 25 yards out, he normally scores, or he at least hits the target and makes the goalkeeper make a save. There's a change coming. Dilhu, to be honest with you, I was very impressed with Fir Park at the weekend. I haven't seen too much of him. Technically really good. I thought he took his goal brilliantly, but what I liked with him, the conditions were horrendous, and I thought he coped with it. Normally you get technical players that are right, I'm not into this kind of weather, because it was blowing a gale and pelting a rain, but I thought he handled the situation really well, and I was impressed by him.
No, he's a good player, but I'd seen a lot of him down in England, and he went to Norwich and really struggled a little bit to get game time. I don't know if that was down to he kept breaking down with injuries and whatever, but there's no doubt he's a talented boy.
22 minutes to go plus stoppage, and there'll be 4 or 5 minutes there as Celtic come down the right, and Alistair Johnson,
he's been off it.
Yeah,
he's been off it.
Definitely not been his day to day.
Why wouldn't you take him off now?
I don't know any reason why you're not, and especially now you've got Scott Wright coming on now, so there's another bit of pace. Whether he goes out against him, I'm so surprised. I'm looking at, I can't see there. Tony Ralston's on the bench.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. I can't understand the reason why, even now, because he has no chance of anything. If anything goes wrong now for us, anything mistimed, ball hitting his hand, anything, he's off.
David Turnbull.
There's another change for Rangers, Paul. Seaman's come off and Scott Wright's come on.
So Seaman will play no more after that injury. Scott Wright is on.
Never seen much of Seaman.
No.
Today I wanted to see a bit more, because listen, his form's been great for Rangers, but yeah, he looked a bit lost today.
And Turnbull coming on, Peter, you...
Yeah, I'm a David Turnbull fan in the respect of that, because I know it's not easy to play for Celtic, I understand that, but listen, some of the things he's capable of, you know that. I just play with sometimes, and it's maybe his body language at times. You feel as if you could give him a jag, but there's no doubt that he's got a quality, and he can score goals from the middle of the field, which is always important, but he's technically very good as well.
It's going to be a throw in to Rangers midway inside the Celtic half, waiting for David Turnbull. We'll see who is going to go off. Barry and Peter thought that Alistair Johnson would go at some point. Paolo Bernardo, the scorer, the opening goal. And what will that do for his career, Peter?
I think he's been excellent. But even since he came in, he's one of these players that goes through the game. You don't really see much of him, because he gets it and shoves it very quickly. Or he intercepts it and passes very quickly. All these wee things. So by the time he's given the ball away and he makes runs in the box and doesn't receive it, but he'd done it today and got an opportunity, and then he gets his goal. His goal's a wonderful, wonderful strike. But so far I've been really impressed with his performances for Celtic.
As they come forward looking for a third, it's going to be a red card. It's a red card for Leon Balogun. It was 1-1 there. He's got the red card. Peter? I think he's had a bit of have some words there. One of the Celtic players, Leon Balogun.
There's no need to. Listen, he's been given the red card.
What happened here?
Yeah,
he's pushing, pulling back. Yeah.
See, there, again, what frustrates me sometimes, see when it's a sloppy pass and you're getting put under pressure, just put your foot through it. Just get it out the pitch or get it up the pitch, whatever. So it's going to be a long 18.5 minutes plus injury time for Rangers now.
Peter?
Well, it gives you the strength of Maeda there. He put the pressure on, closed him down and made him not go out the other way. So he's taken the touch and the bad touch with it, and all of a sudden it's put him in a position now, and then he's brought him down. So
I think, Granty, when it goes in there, some people are just scared to put their foot through it.
It's part of the game.
See if I sensed any danger, my foot would go through the ball, and you know what? It maybe go out the pitch or go right through to the goalkeeper. But listen, you're getting that away from danger.
Yeah, everybody can shout at you, but it's away from your goal and you're still on the pitch.
Rangers down to 10 men and 2 goals down, 18 minutes to go plus the stoppage, and there's the young man who's covered most of the pitch, especially in the first half.
He's been the best player. Rangers' his best player, and I mean, in and out of possession he's worked exceptionally hard. Barry says he does the right hand side very well. I think he's done that exceptionally well, but also on the other side of that, what I think he's done well is he's positive when he's got the ball. He's the one that's passed the ball. I don't think he's had many turnovers in the respect to giving possession away. I think it's his teammates should be helping him. Actually, it's him that's been the opposite way around about. He's been the shining star for them.
As Celtic come forward then, they're 11 against 10, and it's Matt O'Reilly plays it out to the right to Maeda, but Maeda's looking tired.
I think he's going to make a change, Paul. I think it's sensible, because you bring another centre back on, take somebody off, shut up shop a wee bit, and then you might get a set piece and you might get that goal back, and you never know what could happen. So I think that's good management.
Suter?
I mean, I'm guessing Looking at it, I would bring John Souttar on.
Yeah. Peter, it does make sense, doesn't it? As Celtic come forward again, they would love to get goal number 3. They're 2 up.
Paul, if you open up, it's the pace and the movement of Kyogo and Maeda, which is going to be the problem.
The interesting thing is, they stay Stirling as a centre back. They've actually put Lundstrom back there just now with the order off. So whether he takes, unfortunately for young McCausland, he could be the one that ends up getting off because of somebody else's mistake. You know, because I'm looking at Brown about it. What else could he do if you're trying to get? Because Rangers need to try and obviously get back into the game. You know, so is it either Sterling? It's definitely not going to be Lundstrom. Does he take Sterling off? But then you're losing a midfield player. And McCausland, as I say, has been their shining light so far.
Ball down the left for Celtic. Turnbull was involved for the first time. Plays it to Palma. Turnbull goes for the shot, but that's easily taken by Jack Butland. You're not going to beat him from there, and it's played out quickly down the left to Yilmaz, who's in today. No sign of Barisic again at a major domestic game. We'd have to assume an injury, but Barisic missing this afternoon. It's the Celtic captain McGregor, sweeps the ball forward, looking for Maeda, who chests it down, leaves it for Turnbull. It's a Turnbull range, edge of the box, but he plays it to the right to Johnson. Johnson, poor ball in though, but it comes out favourably for Celtic. Matt O'Reilly, he'd love to get on the back of this, but it comes to Turnbull. We're watching on Sky as the captain McGregor has a strike, but it comes to Palma. Palma tries to jink inside, but
that's just good defending
and poor attacking as well, wasn't it? He couldn't get round him. So Rangers coming forward, a chance there, but it's cut out by Celtic. Yeah, no question, Barry. That was
I just thought it was weak for Palma. Taverniers read him and took the ball off him, and he's went down, and he's got straight back up as soon as Tavernier started driving with the ball.
Exactly, and you can't try and get people booked. We know what it's like, but you don't do that. We're not used to that here in this country, you know.
As Celtic come forward into the box, Palma, I don't know if he went for goal there. Do you think Abada might come on now?
Listen, I think it's something he's got to look at this moment in time. You know, we have to be careful. Celtic, Palmer's getting involved in little wee things with James Tavernier and whatever. You just don't need that now. What you've got to do is get the ball, do your job, and don't be all in. That was the one thing we'd have been told. If we'd have tried to flick something or try and be clever when you're in front and dominating, you'd have been taken off the pitch. You've got to be professional and respectful now and do things properly.
As Celtic come forward, the ball into Kyogo from Alistair Johnson.
See what Celtic are doing just now, they're making the pitch really big. That's what you've got to do when you play against 10 men. You've got to stretch your opposition, and that's what the Celtic are doing Rangers at this moment in time.
It was great movement again. He went away behind goals and then gets across the front of him. You know, and as I say, you service that wee fella, put balls in the box, he's always a danger. As a defender, it must be an absolute nightmare, because you're looking over your right and your left shoulder at all times.
Still 14 minutes to go plus stoppage, but I don't think many people saw this, that Celtic would be 2 up. OK, Rangers now down to 10 men, but Celtic look well on top at the moment. But here come Rangers. 14 minutes to go. As the ball's played out to the left, but it goes aimlessly. You can see the difference, Barry, can't you? Late in the game, you're down to 10 men.
He's coming on.
Yep. John Souttar.
I thought that would happen.
Right. John Souttar coming on, and who is going to come off? Sacrifice somebody to shut up shop, isn't it? And maybe try and get... it's going to be John Lundstrom. Now, he did have an injury, Peter, but he's been good today, Lundstrom?
Listen, I don't think he's done anything wrong. He's not been outstanding. Celtic have a wee bit of domination in there, because Celtic have very good players in there, let's not be kidding. I don't think he had a lot of help round about him for the ones that were supposed to be going to be the match winners, the Cantwells and all that. And it doesn't matter, you can go about your dirty work doing all that, interceptions, all these things, but you need your forwards and your number 10s to go and create something.
Here's Turnbull creating for Maeda. Maeda looks up and he skies it. There's no other word for it, and it's gone out of play.
Well, that was you back in the day when you played in the wing.
Oh, exactly, I know. Honestly, I was leaping on until I crossed the ball. It was only amateur, but it was the hardest thing in the game.
I'm trying to laugh here.
I know, you have to, don't you? Yeah. Because
this is sore.
Yep. But people you wouldn't have seen this happen today. But there's still 13 minutes to go. Rangers are down to 10 men. Celtic now coming forward up over the halfway line. Kieran Dowell, who scored last weekend at Motherwell, plays it forward to Scott Wright, getting one of his first touches. That's a good tackle by Nawrocki. Why is he getting involved? I mean,
to be fair, I think it's a good tackle. He's trying to go up. I thought Scott Wright did the linesman's right at him. I'd like to see it in the replay. It's a great tackle. He's tripped him up. So
I see it in the replay.
Yeah. As a free kick, so you can understand the disappointment, but you don't get involved. As I say, this is a small detail. Keep the hands and that down. Don't get involved. Don't make the game equal. Don't give them a sniff, because all it takes is 2 set plays or something like that. Even though you've got 10 players, you've just got to make the ball do the work. As Barry spoke about, make Rangers run about all over the pitch. But the only way you do is that, moving the ball is sharp and taking minimum touches on the ball.
Callum McGregor plays it out to Johnson, Alistair Johnson. Not a great cross. And if you're Tony Rawson, look, does this tell us about January in the future for him? Why wouldn't you bring on a decent player for one who, really good player, but who's on a booking and has been maybe lucky to still be on the pitch?
Well, and many times have you heard it, and I don't mean it's the referee's decision, but the referee's not got a decision. No. If Alistair Johnson does anything wrong, he's off. There is absolutely no doubt of that. So for me, definitely, it's different if you're nobody and you're going to have to play a centre back out there, but you've played a right back who's played a lot of games. There's absolutely no doubt I'd have made the change, but as I say, that's why I don't get paid the big bucks, and Brendan does.
Indeed. As he comes down the left through David Turnbull, out to Lewis Palmer. Palmer, can he get round Tavernier? No, he opts to play it in. It's a good ball. He plays to O'Reilly, but he loses out. Sterling coming forward for Rangers. Matched in the run there by Turnbull. It's going to be a yellow card. That didn't take long.
Well, that's what I'm saying in these games, and it could be anybody, because Callum tried it earlier on, but the referee played on. So there's a couple of times, and to be fair to the boy Sterling, he's done his job well today. He's got a few interceptions, he's driven with the ball. But you need your big players. It could have been completely different. Dessers' his chances, all these things, These are the small details in these particular games that can make a hell of a difference. And now you feel that Celtic have got the players that can maintain the ball. And when you're a team in front, and Barry will tell you, if you're a team that can keep possession well, which you would say the Celtic 3 in midfield are as good as anyone, you'd be saying that they should never really give the ball away and make Rangers work really, really hard.
Here come Rangers coming forward, but Kieran Dowell, it's a slight pass, and it's back with Celtic. Kyogo, he's come deep, he scored a terrific goal after 46 minutes of the game, start of the second half, and it looks as though that has sealed it for Celtic. But 10 minutes to go, plus stoppage, 10-man Rangers. But it's Celtic at the moment. Out to the right, to the Canadian international, Johnson, to the Scotland international. What a year it's going to be for Callum McGregor, along with Scotland heading to the Euros. Celtic knocking it about, Peter.
But that's what you've got to do. I just think, because Rangers have got to come after you, because you're in front, and that's what you're always looking for when you get to this stage in the game. As I say, it's once you take 2 and 3 touches, just keep it rolling. Don't give them a chance to intercept you. Don't give them a chance to give a free kick away or whatever. Just move the ball and make them run, and use that extra player, because you have got that quality, can do that.
Peter, Ange loved a triple substitution. Brendan Rodgers is about to do the same in a few moments, but it's Celtic still in possession. Over the halfway line, it's out to the left to Palmer. Palmer back to Liam Scales. You'd have to say, Barry, Liam Scales is just a lesson for somebody in football, isn't it? Who's come in with a kind of limited ability, and the career didn't seem to be at Celtic.
Looked to me if he was out the door, out on loan last year, and it's amazing how football works. There's Celtic, and again,
Kyogo, what a chance there, but Butland does well. Kyogo took too long in the ball.
It's offside.
I think he's offside anyway. Yeah, again, but that's what Matt Riley looks for, and that's what Kyogo does very well, getting on that last line of you. As you say, he's offside, but you can see the Rangers backline, the new boys been in, there's a big hole between them right through the middle, but he's well offside, and he doesn't really need to go. You can see the picture across the pitch.
What about Liam Scales? Barry was mentioning him.
As I said to you, I think he's probably been the man of the season so far with his performances, so I think he's got better and better. He's played against top quality players, and he's done himself really well in Europe as well as in the home games.
I think Kyogo is about to be replaced. You would imagine it will be. Oh, there's Kyogo going off to the applause of the 60,000 Celtic fans. Yep, it's Palmer, Kyogo and Maeda going off for Abada, and Mikey Johnson. So, Peter, Abada coming on?
Yep, I see that, and I'm delighted at that, because when he's a fully fit kid, he's a top player. I really like him. He's only young, but he's a goal threat, especially as a wide player, and I'm sure he'll get a fantastic reception for the Celtic support.
Yeah, Abada has been such a favourite with the Celtic fans. He's come on with 7 minutes remaining plus stoppage. So Celtic winning by 2-0. Rangers down to 10 men. Leon Balogun sent off about 10 minutes ago. Jack Butland up over the halfway line. Have Rangers something in the tank to give Celtic something to think about? as Matt O'Reilly wins the ball for Celtic. Celtic look composed, Peter, don't they?
Yeah, but it's interesting that manager put on and
they've just lost the ball there to Sterling. Sterling's a bit of tugging of a jersey. It's outside the box. A couple of players have gone down, including Sterling. We'll have to, referee Nick Walsh has stopped play, and we'll see what's happened here. Sorry, Peter, I jumped in there.
No,
it's Greg Taylor down.
He's down. But yeah, again, it's one of these ones. If you overrun the ball, it's always dangerous. And he's been booked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sterling's been booked as well, and you're thinking, if that's any other time in the game, is that a yellow card? It probably is. And it's a soft one, but it's a yellow card. Yep. But that's this, as I keep going back to it, the things that can happen in these games. You get caught up in it, you get wrapped up in it, you make too many touches, you be rash. And it's interesting that Rangers have put Scott Wright out on the left-hand side to go up Johnson, and obviously the manager's seen that and to give him a problem, because if he runs inside him, it could be a problem for him.
Yep, yeah, again, 3 subs. Not one of them was Alistair Johnson,
I know,
who's been on that.
Well, the manager's obviously
Here come
him.
Rangers. Dezza's down the left. McCausland's with
Let's
him.
be positive here.
Here comes Dezza's. Goes for a shot, but it comes off Nawrocki. Barry.
He needs to commit the centre backs. He's not committing the centre backs there. Because he's strong. He's a strong runner. Dessers. When he gets in that box, he has to make the centre back commit. But that, for me, looking there, that's a bit of lack of confidence.
Bada to Turnbull. Turnbull
That's
into the
poor
box.
as well.
That was good play by Celtic, but a poor cross. So here comes Ross McCausland, the Northern Ireland, the young international player, up over the halfway line. He's gone 10, 20, 30, 40 yards, and he's been pulled down. Free kick.
That's the prime example.
Yeah.
I know he's outside the box, but he commits people.
Yeah.
He drives at people. He makes them make decisions, and that's what I want to see Dessers do when he's going through and goal there a minute or so ago.
Callum McGregor, yellow card, Peter.
Yeah, thoroughly deserved. I say he was lucky earlier on because he tried the same thing. The referee let it go because Rangers were in the attack. But that's a couple of times they've got in behind the midfield, and that's what I'm saying. It's that sloppiness when you give possession away and everybody's just out to play. You've still got to do your jobs properly. If you're not in the right positions, you can end up with situations like that. And to be fair to young McCausland, he was very direct and positive, and he's been outstanding for Rangers so far.
Free kick for Rangers, but it's cleared by Celtic, and that was a chance, Barry, wasn't it? Because Rangers still, 5 minutes to go. They could give Celtic something to think about, but it's
certainly when you get a set piece in that area, Paul, you've got to make Celtic defend there. I think some of the set pieces, some of them, every set piece has been pretty disappointing from Rangers. The delivery has not been up to scratch.
Celtic coming forward, winning a throw-in. It's going to be a Rangers throw-in on this near side.
You could tell that, as Barry says, all in the build-up to this game, there's no doubt this manager's looked at it and probably said, is there any weaknesses in the Celtic team? Well, set plays, they lose a few goals on them, or they don't get the first contact on a lot of them. So it's something he's very much looked, and they've been in some fantastic positions, the free kicks they've got, and the delivery's been really poor, which is unlike them.
Is there another goal in the game for either side?
There's always a chance. Yeah, there's always going to be a chance in the game, usually at this period, whether it's a sloppiness or someone's not playing or goes to sleep.
And it's Rangers coming forward. The ball's knocked down there, looking for Scott Wright a chance, but it cannons off Callum McGregor. Still Rangers in possession with 4 minutes remaining plus stoppage. There'll probably be 5 minutes to be added at least. James Tavernier, the captain, plays it out left, and good ball through for Dessers. Dessers gone down, he's been fouled, edge of the box. Nawrocki.
And I was just about to say, he's put himself in good positions at times too. He's put himself in good blocks in.
Barry, what are you thinking?
I just think that's poor defending. You just stand up. I don't know why he needs to do that, but listen, he's gave Rangers an opportunity now. Rangers now need to make this count. The delivery has got to be spot on, and people just throwing their bodies at the ball. Get it in between the defence and Joe Hart. It's a slick surface.
Absolutely, and that's what they say, Barry. Hit the target with these ones. You've got to make the goalkeeper work. Definitely for that distance. And it's something they've not done so far. So it's definitely something.
8 minutes added on, so it's quite a bit of time. That's 10 minutes still to go all in. So Rangers with a free kick 20 yards out. Here comes James Tavernier, good one.
Yes,
and it's in the back of the net.
What's a goal? Listen, I've been saying about James Tavernier, his deliveries from set pieces has not been up to scratch today. He had a free kick 10 or 15 minutes ago that hit the wall, but That's what he's all about. That's what he's produced week in, week out. Joe Hart has absolute no chance of that.
What a strike, Peter Grant.
I said you can't give them chances because set plays is a big thing they'd probably work on. The delivery's not been great, and sure as fate, the first one they've got properly, the ball's in the back of the net. Now it gives them an opportunity, because they're saying if we get another set play, now it becomes a problem, because then all of a sudden the confidence is there. Rangers know they've nothing to lose. They can go for it, they can put the ball forward, they can make you make mistakes. As we spoke about the bookings we had. All these wee things now come into play. Celtic have got to be very, very careful. Even though they've dominated the second half, they've got to be very, very careful now.
Yeah, Rangers throw everything. Everything at Celtic now. And do you know what, Paul? They might concede a goal, but they've got to go for Celtic now.
Nothing to lose.
No.
Celtic coming forward, putting the ball through. Leila Bad. It's not a great pass though, and it allows Rangers to clear. 10-man Rangers, but they've fought back to a 2-1 position with a minute left of normal time plus 8 minutes of stoppage as Celtic come forward. Mikey Johnson getting one of his first touches, plays it out wide to O'Reilly, but it's a poor ball. It was going away from him, wasn't it, Peter? That'd be difficult.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's been sloppy play for the last 5-6 minutes, you know, as I say, silly set plays, and that brings in, and now listen, I know, I understand tiredness and edginess and nervousness. It's more nervous now because you've lost the goal, and that's the problem, and that's why we said, listen, you've got to keep in control, keep the ball doing the work. The couple of times we've changed the ball over, Rangers have played it forward. Barry made the point, and they're obviously making the wrong choice to get into tackle where he should have just stayed on his feet. And all of a sudden Rangers get the goal, so it's game on.
You did say a draw is what you thought it could be.
Well, I hope I'm wrong.
Barry, you thought it'd be 2-1, but the other way
I'll
around.
take 2 each, Paul.
Look at that free kick again. So,
Yeah, but do you know what? It's a brilliant free kick, James Tavernier. This is an area where he delivered it.
And here he comes down the right-hand side, plays the ball in. Celtic fail to clear. Callum McGregor does eventually up towards the halfway line. Gets one of his first touches of the afternoon. Plays it to Turnbull. Turnbull tries to take the weight off the Celtic defence. Plays it to What's on for Celtic? Plays it wide to Lil Abada. Abada, the Israeli international, edge of the box. Great shot. Great save from Butland. I say great shot. Could have been better, Peter Grant.
I'm not sure he should have taken the shot on. He had 4 players, he had 3 players outside him, and it was a 4v3 situation. I think he's maybe got to make the pass there. I understand what he's trying to do, but I think in that situation, in the situation the game is in, it's one that you make the pass because there's an opportunity for it to either
there's
win
a goal in this game.
Yeah, I said
there's 100% a goal here.
I did ask you that before the last one. So, Barry, you think there's another one? And it could be either way. Rangers could make it 2-2. Celtic could make it 3-1.
Rangers are going for it. And do you know what? They've got every right to. They've got nothing to lose.
Well, the one thing we did say, Baz, was play the ball forward. And I think that's what Rangers have done in the last 5 minutes. Down the side and made defenders. Because the conditions are telling you that. Make them defend. Now Narovski's been booked. There's a couple of players made the wrong choices.
As Rangers now, Yilmaz. So there's 6.5 minutes left of stoppage time as the ball swept out to the right to Tavernier, who scored for Rangers. Straight into the box. He's won a corner. And the Celtic players, Greg Taylor he's bawling there, saying, what are you doing? To Mikey Johnson, who came on about 10 minutes ago. There'll be questions about the Celtic substitutions if they lose another goal.
It's down to delivery here. He's produced the goods a few minutes ago. He needs to produce a good corner here.
The picture's showing some nervous Celtic fans who were jubilant 10 minutes ago, but here's the corner. James Tavernier, high, edge of the box, just headed away. The Celtic head got to it. Callum McGregor, as Celtic try to... You wouldn't think it was 10 versus 11 just now, Peter, would you?
No, definitely not. Rangers have had the last 5-6 minutes, there's absolutely no doubt in it, but they've not complicated it. They've done the things that we all said that they would try and do, get the ball forward, make Celtic defend. And that's exactly what we've tried to do. And unfortunately, we've made the errors that's allowed Rangers to come back in. We've turned over possession, or we've made the wrong choice in the attacking third. And defensively, we've given silly free kicks away. And that combination obviously can lead to disaster, and hopefully not. See, I don't like all this. Even when you're winning the game.
Listen to Barry, he loves it. You can understand.
Because you've got Rangers are pushing all the bodies forward now, so you can take them out the game with one pass. So you're taking 6 players, but if you keep knocking it short, there we go, Rangers won it, final third. Yeah, it's incredible. I just find it, for the experience of the boys that you lost the ball there, if I'm Callum McGregor on there, I can imagine if I'd done that with a Roy Aitken or a Danny McGrain.
as Rangers come forward. Shot up over the top
cross
there.
that there. He's at an angle where it's difficult. There, he's just got to flash it. We spoke about it 10-15 minutes ago, granted, didn't we?
Oh, absolutely.
You've got to flash that. When Dessers went through, we were talking about him. He's hit the side netting. He's got to flash that across goal.
Rangers had 2 players over at the back as well. But it all came again from Celtic playing in their final third when Rangers had 5 players pushed forward. So just one pass takes them all out the game, but we played in front of them. They won possession back and got the opportunity.
Here's Mikey Johnson, beats 2 players, plays it into Turnbull, down in the box. No penalty, says the referee. Celtic fans scream for a penalty, offside. And that could have been dangerous there.
Well, I'd be very surprised if he went down for nothing.
Yep.
If he was in that position to shoot. And I'm not sure he's offside.
No, he's onside. He's onside there.
Oh, he is onside.
Oh, it's a penalty kick then.
Tavernier there, a push. Let's just see it again on Turnbull.
Oh, absolutely. It's a penalty kick if it's not, but he's gave offside and it's not offside. So
Wow.
I don't know if you go back to VAR on that.
Did they go back and check that, Barry? At VAR? Who's on VAR? It's Willie Collum.
But that's what I mean. But why they no a shout to go to VAR?
Yeah,
I don't understand
Yep.
because he's got the decision wrong.
Yep. David Turnbull has been, can you imagine? Well, it's some finish to the game, isn't it? How long to go? 3 minutes, 35 seconds. It's Celtic 2, Rangers 1. And it's a free kick for Rangers. Peter, you're pointing.
Well, I just think there's an overload at this side, and the Rangers are bigger over there, and we've got all our smaller players. We've just got to make sure we get the first contact.
Ball goes
That's settled for that. Come off in John Souttar's head.
John Souttar's head's going to be a goal kick to Celtic.
See you get a free kick in that position. I know they go at the edge. Get it in the penalty spot. Dink it in the penalty spot where you can make them defend. See, like they're playing a diagonal. I get it. We used to do it sometimes, but then we changed and says, right, you know what? I'm just going to float it towards the penalty spot. That commits defenders and goalkeepers.
100%. I thought Yilmaz penalty spot and put all the bodies in there. That's what you've got to do, because if everybody misses it, the ball can bounce and slide in or whatever, but everybody's got to defend it then. But doing that, you're delighted if you're Celtic if they're going to play the big diagonal away out there, because it means it's got to become a second or third ball that's got to get into the back of the net.
Game stopped for the moment. Matt O'Reilly's got a nosebleed again. There'll be a few Celtic fans with a nosebleed at the moment, Peter, because anxious moments for the Celtic fans. You're one of them.
It's not a nosebleed I've got, but I'm not telling you what I've got.
2.5 minutes, but there's obviously going to be an extra minute or so because of this treatment. Did you want that to happen? Do you want the player to go off? You don't really, do you?
You don't want it to go off, but if he's sitting down, I think you've got to take him off. Maybe I don't know if you're allowed another substitution. I'm not sure with the substitutions that's been made. I've lost count, but because of the fact now you're equal here, the only thing is, a pleasing thing is the ball's out for Celtic in the by kick. I don't know if he's got blood in his shirt if you need to go around all the way to change that. So
I think they've got extra ones these days, Peter.
I think that was you've already given him one, Paul. That's what I'm saying. So you maybe tell him again. There, that's better. They're not taking the chance. I mean, God Almighty.
So Celtic 2-1 up, a minute and a half to go, plus there's maybe an extra minute for that stoppage just there. Joe Hart thumps it up over the halfway line, but Rangers win the ball first. But it goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in.
I think they're going to go to 100 minutes a day.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think that's what it's heading for when you look at likes of Matt with the strip and whatever.
Barry, is that the word?
I'll find out, give me 2 minutes.
Exactly. Get the old TikTok.
He's phoning VAR.
And it's going to be a free kick to Celtic. Taking the isn't it? Football is, Celtic look to be, cruising's the wrong word, but there you get that one moment. James Tavernier takes it, great strike, and it's 2-1. And the last 10 minutes,
that's
Rangers.
what we spoke about, silly set plays and that, Paul. Making the wrong choices. Celtic at the ball, the last chance to give away a big free kick, trying to play out. And that, listen, fantastic. I'm all for playing for sure, but there's times when Rangers push 5 up and you've nobody to pass to, you've got to go beyond them. Common sense tells you that.
Rangers come out of defence. Yilmaz plays it down the left. The ball looks as though it'll go out of play, but it isn't. It's still in play, is it? Celtic? No, ball has gone out of play. Barry, how's Yilmaz done for you?
He's did okay, Paul. Going forward, listen, there's no doubt he's very good driving with the ball. Defensively, sometimes I wonder if he's physically got it, but listen, he's done fine.
Throw in to Celtic, coming up to the 98th minute mark, but there will be there's something going on there which is just silly. Souttar with a Celtic player who's gone down. Yilmaz now telling the Celtic player to get up. They should just get back. Connor Goldson. Oh, he's now trying to get the Celtic player up. Is it Matt O'Reilly?
I can't believe
No, it's
Alistair
not
Johnson.
O'Reilly. It's not O'Reilly.
Alistair Johnson should just stay out the road because
Absolutely.
he's already been booked.
Yeah. Let's look at it again. See what happens. It's O, isn't it? O and Suter. And the camera's gone away from what actually happened. Yep. It's going to be... In fact, the referee has stopped again. We've played 98 and a half minutes.
This gets lumped right into the box.
Yep. And another yellow card. In fact, is it 2 yellow cards there?
Yeah, I think it's Suter and
O for both of them. Yeah. Anyone not get a yellow card on this game?
I think Golson as well.
Golson, yeah.
I think the 3 of them there, all in the one incident. But this is it. As Barry talked about, one chance, you're hoping.
Yep.
This is not it.
Connor Golson misses a game. Here's the ball. Edge of the box, headed forward by Suter. Still in play. Celtic tried to break out. The ball just bobbing about inside. It was the centre circle, but it's Rangers now coming forward. Is it a last chance? But it's whacked out of play by Matt O'Reilly.
Can't believe Mikey Johnson tries a back killer.
I know. Yep.
In the final third, you're defending third.
It tells you, in fact, here it is, Mikey Johnson
well done.
On the ball. Can he keep possession? He plays it forward. He gets taken out of the play, but here's O. O tries to beat Yilmaz. Peter shakes his head. Yeah. They've lost possession again. Celtic giving it away to Rangers. Now Rangers, the attack is on Dezler's edge of the box. It's headed away. But it's still the Celtic box. Is somebody going to lump it up the park? Nawrocki does. We've played 99 and a half minutes in the derby. The second Old Firm derby, Glasgow derby of the season, as the ball's played up towards the Celtic box. Is that the whistle? No, it is the whistle, but it's only for a free kick.
Peter, when we said, Paul, these games are always, they can be scrappy or whatever, you just got to win them. And Celtic have played like that for probably the last 15-20 minutes. You know, it's been really, really scrappy. They've not dealt with it well. And Rangers obviously have done what they've had to do to try and get the goal back, to get the set play. And for then on in, it's been like the Alamo. Celtic have gotten into good positions, but made some horrendous decision making. You know, with an experienced group of players who's played in a lot of these games. And we're talking about trying to play out in their final third when Rangers have pushed 5 up. All these wee simple things. And you're just inviting trouble. You know?
10 and a half minutes have been played of stoppage time. This is probably the last piece of the action as the ball's played forward. Both players go down, a Celtic player and a Rangers player. Ball still in play though. Yilmaz, one final 40 forward for Dezers. Dezers though is beaten to the ball by Nawrocki. It's going to be a throw into Rangers.
I honestly don't get that at times. Granted, see when a centre half's not going to win the ball, you usher him.
Absolutely.
You stand behind them.
Just let him defend it.
As the ball's played forward into the Celtic box, but it's cleared. We've played 11 minutes of stoppage time in the derby, and that's it. It's gone. Celtic 2, Rangers 1. 10-man Rangers. They came back into it through that goal from James Tavernier, but it was the first half strike from Paulo Bernardo, and at the start of the second, Kyogo with a wonder goal. There's 8 points in it now. Peter Grant.
Delighted with the win. I've seen them play a lot better. There is absolutely no doubt of that. It's taken 2 wonder goals. Rangers probably the last 10 minutes threw everything at it, trying to get something from it. But I think overall there was a period in the game that Celtic dominated and their big players played well. I think that was the opposite with Rangers. When Rangers needed their Cantwells and all that, they weren't there. I didn't feel like, they were leaving it to the likes of young McCausland to try and go and grab the game with the scruff of the neck. And as I say, fortunately enough for Celtic, we rode their luck a little bit, and it's as I say, you were scratching your head after they gave the set play away with Tavernier with the quality that he has. But obviously, this game, you're only delighted with the result.
Barry Ferguson.
Yeah, I didn't think there was much in the game, Paul. When Celtic scored the first goal, I thought that just 5 minutes before that, they started to take a foothold in the game and dominate it. Poor goal for Rangers' point of view. Seamus got to do better with a header. They finished the first half strongly, and then it's the worst possible start in the second half. Take nothing away. Kyogo, brilliant movement, brilliant finish. And then Celtic start to dominate after that again, and then obviously Balogun gets sent off. Rangers have a couple of half chances, and then Tavernier comes up with a wonder free kick, and then they put Celtic under pressure, but just not enough in the end. Disappointing. That's Philip Clement's first defeat. Now they need to make sure the they dust themselves down and make sure they get that vital 3 points on Tuesday against Kilmarnock.
If you want to speak to Peter Grant and Barry Ferguson, you know the number 0808 17 17 700s.
The Go Radio Football Show with Global Eco Energy. For your free energy home survey and bespoke quote, call 0800 233 5788.
Let's go! Old Firm Derby finished with the spoils going to the home side, to the defending champions Celtic. And is that going to be crucial in defence of that title? Rangers lose for the first time under Philippe Clement, 2-1, although my goodness, the last 5-10 minutes after that strike from James Tavernier, it was nail-biting, Peter, wasn't it? When the game looked as though, it's never over, you did say that, but it looked as though Celtic were well on their way to a victory.
I think that's what would disappoint Brendan, with the players that he has in the middle of the pitch. The quality he has in there, they never controlled the ball as well as they did, and the Rangers went down to 10 players, and we allowed Rangers back in. Silly set plays we spoke about. Okay, it's a quality finish for sure, but you don't give them that chance, and then all of a sudden Rangers are bombarding you, and you're thinking, oh, we're hanging on here. And there was a lot of silly decisions made with the players on the pitch, and it ended up making it really, really nervy at the end, where the game should have been seen out comfortably.
Barry, we're just looking there at Kyogo. You can see why he was Player of the Year. Like you've always said, what a striker. He just needs that one chance.
Never seen him in a game, Paul, when he come up with that one bit of quality. And I said it. You've got to be wary of players like that. Listen, he's not scored as many goals as you would think he would, but that's down to the service, I believe, for the wide areas. So yeah, overall, I think Rangers had a few opportunities. Certainly in the first half, Paul, with Dessers going through, he's got to make Joe Hart make a save at least. And then young McCausland, who I thought for his first Old Firm game, I thought he was great. I've got to be honest with you, he was that bright spark for Rangers. He created an opportunity, good shot on goal. Joe made a good save with a strong right hand. But then I'm expecting my centre forwards to be in round about that. And then the second half, as I said, I thought Rangers again finished the half really, really strongly, albeit down to 10 men. But listen, it is what it is. Listen, Rangers have suffered their first defeat under Philippe Clement, but I don't think it will linger, I'll be honest with you. I think he'll go in, he'll say a few things, and then he'll get back down to business for the game on Tuesday against Kilmarnock.
And for Celtic, Peter, looking at it, just over a week ago they lost 2 league games in a row. Celtic now sitting 8 points clear of Rangers. Rangers have got 2 games in hand, as we know. So after 21 games, Celtic on 51 points, Rangers on 43, but with 2 in hand. But it's as good as it gets for Celtic in the last 10 days, given the results at Kilmarnock and Hearts.
Absolutely, and they were big blows, they were massive blows at the time, and it was a massive game for Celtic today. A home game, with your own supporters in front of you. It could have went against you. Barry spoke of the Dessers situation. I think that was really, really important. That he doesn't take the chance on. We got a bit fortunate probably with Alistair Johnson today, because you end up losing a player through a bad mistake as well. And then he was fortunate if the referee's given the free kicks, which I think Rangers actually was one Rangers scored from. It wasn't, it was Narowski, that one. But he's not with his elbow, and you're thinking, we've got away with that. And you need the bits of fortune, and Celtic got that today, because I was expecting more from it. When Rangers went to 10 players, I expected to take more control with the midfield that they have. But we still tried to be clever at the back and bring Rangers on, invite Rangers on to give them opportunities further up the pitch. And Barry knows, as long as there's only one goal in it, there's always an opportunity. It ended up nearly being 20 minutes that Rangers had then an opportunity back with it, if you add on the 10 minutes, near enough. So that's the fine lines. Absolutely delighted with the result, chuffed to bits with it. And as I say, it was a big result for Celtic today because of the performances, up and down performances over the last few weeks.
Barry, you often said you'd rather be in Celtic's position with the points in the bag.
Yep.
So for Rangers, I'm just thinking, it's 8 points, but that could easily have been 14 points today. So it could have been a 14-point margin if they'd beaten Killian Hearts.
There's still a lot of football to play. The Rangers are certainly still in it. They need to make sure they win the 2 games in hand, first and foremost, which I would fully expect them to do it. And as I said last night, Paul, I think this is going to get right down to the wire. Look, disappointing when you lose an Old Firm game, no doubt about it. But I think you can take some positives out of it as well. But at the end of the day, Celtic have got that win. And as I said, before the winter break, it's important that Rangers make sure they get that 3 points against a Kilmarnock team who are flying high.
How much better do you feel than you did with 2 minutes to go? In other words, when Rangers got that goal? How do you feel now?
Yeah, well, listen, he went for it and he made the change. He made the substitution, bringing Suter on, obviously taking when Balogun gets sent off. And Rangers were in a situation where what do you do? Sit back and let Celtic pepper your goal, or do you go and have a go at it? They certainly had a go at it. Tavernier got his goal, and then the last 10 minutes I thought Celtic were on the back foot, no doubt about it. Just couldn't get that equaliser.
Peter, young Paulo Bernardo, we'd hardly heard of him till European forays, remember, in Champions League, and then he hardly played in domestic football here, but my goodness, what a contribution.
Yeah, I think in the games he's played in Feyenoord, I think it was his first start really in the respect of the European game. And that said enough about him, because I thought he handled that occasion well. I thought he handled today well. I thought he played well at Dundee as well. He's getting in the box. He just doesn't play in the area. There's a good balance in there. And I think that shows today the fact that you've got like Hatate, who the manager could have maybe gave a few minutes to, didn't take him off. But, you know, simple things like that. Because I think Brendan's cute enough. He knows these games are never finished. You know, and it's not about resting some people or whatever. And Celtic have still got players to come back up to the fore as well. Maeda was well off, I felt today. You know, you never got a performance from him. Palmer was quiet again, I felt. You know, you're looking about it. I think the midfield was absolutely fine. Alistair Johnson never had a great day. You know, so you had to make a change at centre back early. All these wee things like that, you know. So to get away with that and win with the 3 points, well, absolutely, as a supporter, I'm delighted. And I know as I've gone into that dressing room, there'll be high-fiving and everything, because it doesn't matter. I keep telling you, it's all about winning in this particular fixture. And they've managed to go over the line with a victory. But there's a lot of things for Brendan to pick out in this particular game that he knows they have to do better and improve on. And whether that's bringing new players in or the team getting better, that's what he has to do come January. Bear in mind, we've still got a tough fixture to go to St Mirren.
And January's just, 2 days away. It's going to be fascinating. It's going to be massive for Celtic and for Rangers. And I wonder if maybe in a funny kind of a way, both managers, you know, Celtic had won 3-0 if they had or whatever, given they were up against 10 men. And then the Celtic board might say, well, you know, it's pretty good, you know, beating Rangers 3-0. And for Philippe Clement, if he'd come and won, Barry, which he would love to have done, but maybe he knows he needs to make changes.
I think even if he came to Celtic Park and won the game, I still think he knows he needs to strengthen the team. He knows it's going to be difficult in January. Certainly come the summer there'll be a number of changes, but he still knows that there's a lot of work to be done. Look, they're in a good place at this moment in time. Look, he suffered a defeat today as a sore one, no doubt about it, but Rangers are certainly on the right road.
The Go Radio Football Show with Global Eco Energy. Tailored and renewable energy products to suit your commercial and domestic needs. Let's go!
Go Radio Football Show, Paul Cooney with Peter Grant and Barry Ferguson as we look back at the big match this afternoon. So the derby has come and gone, and it's Celtic winning by 2-1. And we're just going over who are the winners for Celtic, Peter, in terms of the players. It was every one of them, but I mean there were so many bookings with a tightrope for some of them. We mentioned Liam Scales. I mean, what a season he's having. The captain, Callum McGregor.
Yeah, but I thought Bernardo, I must admit, I thought he done well, I must admit. And Kyogo does his job. His job's to put the ball in the back of the net in no moments. People say he gets minimum touches and whatever, but his finish was exquisite. But he had a lot of other things he'd done in the game. His movement was good. There was a couple of half chances, a couple of good movement when the ball didn't come in the box. So you've got to keep looking at Kyogo. And I said that before the game. I don't think he's out of form. And I think a player out of form doesn't score that goal. I think it's, if you give him the service, put the ball into the areas where he wants it early enough, he will cause problems for anyone. And Barry rightfully said his movement prior to the goal was excellent, but his finish was exquisite, especially on his weaker foot.
Certainly was. We mentioned Bernardo as well, Barry. We didn't know too much about him a few months ago, but he's...
Yeah, I've not seen too much of him. I watched the game against Dundee and I thought he was really good for Celtic. Played in a position where I thought he was more a holding midfielder, but he played attacking up at Dens Park and got his goal and played well, and it was another good performance from him today. But in terms of Rangers, I thought young McCausland, I mean, I keep talking about him for his first Old Firm game and not even played 10 games yet. I think that young man can go away and be proud of his performance. I thought he was really positive every time he get his ball, every time he get the ball. He attacked Greg Taylor. And I think Rangers have got a proper player in their hands.
Sure have. McCausland was outstanding, Peter.
No, he done very well. And Joe Harady did make a magnificent save. And we've got to remember that as well in the game. You know, he's had a wonderful save. And we talk about Deshers' big chance, you know. Losing Welsh early, Celtic making adjustments at the back, bringing Naroskin, who's not played for months. So all these things. So both managers will come on. In some ways, he'll be happy with some of his stuff, but I think he'll be disappointed that his big players I didn't think turned up. They can't well, so you're expecting, right, you're going to have to perform in one of these big games like that, and he didn't do it. And he ends up taking him off. He should be really disappointed himself that the manager's taking him off in a game like that. And I look at the likes of Celtic, Brendan will be disappointed with the quality that they have, especially in the middle of the field, that they didn't do better in the period when Rangers were down to 10 players. I thought we made the wrong choices at that particular time in the selection of pass, and there was opportunities to kill Rangers off and we didn't do it. And then what happens if we get sloppy at the back, Narowski makes a mistake, we gets a booking, and all of a sudden, and we got fortunate with Alistair Johnson, because all of a sudden he goes up for the header, the elbow, and if the referee thinks it's an elbow, there's a possibility he gets a red card. But then let Sterling away with the same, a tackle after for his second yellow card. So I don't know the reasons why, and I'm not saying two should equal each other, but you're saying Johnson was very, very fortunate. And I just thought that was as poor as I'd seen him playing, because I really like him as a player, and I thought that was his poorest game that I've seen him playing for Celtic.
Barry, Peter was saying that some of the Rangers bankers, the ones you would expect to do really well, didn't quite live up to expectations.
I never seen enough of Sima, because he's been in excellent form since Philip Clement's come in. Cantwell, I thought actually the first 15-20 minutes he started the game pretty well, but then he faded away. I need to see more consistency from him. So they're the two players that I wanted to see more of. But sometimes you get games like that, Paul, but they're in positions where they're there to make things happen. They're there to score goals and create goals.
I see on Sky, guys, they're showing you the value of an outstanding midfielder, Barry, which you were. Peter, you too. Look at the work that Callum McGregor does, which sometimes goes unnoticed, Peter, doesn't it?
But it's so important positionally, you're in the right position, especially when all positions get the ball, and people think you get into a good position by luck. It's understanding the game and having a football brain. So if the ball's there and you're saying, well, I can stop the ball getting to help my centre backs, within this, especially predominantly Celtic play with one sitting there, it becomes more important that your distances are so important between you and the back line, but also your other two midfield players, so the ball's not passing you into areas where it can hurt you as a defensive team. But going forward as well, to keep it simple, and that's why, as I say, in that period, that 10-15 minutes at the end, or I thought he should have used his leadership and said to him, no, we're not making this pass at the back now, because Rangers are playing 5 up. Let's go a little bit longer, and we've got Olo on now, play off on, and we're beyond their 5, and they nearly put themselves right into trouble. So sometimes that's part of leadership as well, taking that responsibility, and you can see it the last couple have done that, but it nearly was too late. You get away with it that time, but that was the one that could have cost you dearly.
And Barry, from Rangers' point of view, James Tavernier scored a wonder goal, but some of his delivery, most of it...
Yeah, I was surprised, because that's one of his biggest attributes, is his delivery from set pieces. He had a few where it hit the first man, which was disappointing, but listen, his free kick, that's what he's capable of. Brilliant free kick to get Rangers back into the game, but just unfortunately they never had enough at the end to get that vital point.
I take it, Joe Hart, would anyone would have saved that?
No, I think it was a bit. I mean, the whip and the pace he gets on the ball, he's really good at doing that. I mean, I think you're clutching at straws if you're saying Joe Hart could have got it.
No, I'm just asking.
I would always like my goalkeeper to stand central, especially with somebody top quality, because I think it's too many steps with somebody with quality like that to get across the box, because he hits the ball too often and it's bending away from you. So why would you give him the bigger yardage on that side? I'm not saying Joe should have done any better on it, but I'd always say stand middle when it's against somebody like of his quality.
And Jack Butland, same question. Could he have done anything at the 2 goals?
No. I mean, the first goal, Sima can do better.
Yeah, sure.
He's got to put his head right through that. He'll be disappointed in that brilliant strike by Bernardo. And then, listen, the second goal from Celtic, Kyogo. I honestly, everybody's going to talk about the strike. It's the movement that makes that goal. He goes long to come short. It's all one you get taught that when you're younger, granted, when you're getting coached as a young man. But it was a brilliant piece of movement. Took it onto his left side and he struck it past Jack Butland, which I think Jack Butland has no chance of saving.
And again, it's going away from him. The only thing you'd be thinking, it's on his left foot, and I think Rangers have been quite happy if he's going to the left hand side. But it just shows you his movement, as Barry spoke about. Actually, Golson thinks he's got him, because Barry spoke about in the first half of them coming out and engaging, but he's actually made the run as if he's going to go to the front post, and he's checked and come back round and created that half a yard, which was all he's needing. Then he shifts the ball and then whips it, but it's going away for Jack Butland, and that's what I'm saying. Even a keeper of his quality is not going to get, because the ball is actually going away from him into the top corner. And it was a wonderful, wonderful finish. Fair. Listen, a top quality player.
Here's Martino, who was on the show just a couple of weeks ago, saying, crazy game, as mentioned, very good prediction from him, a 2-1 win for Celtic. That's what he said 10 days ago, and all the very best to everyone for the new year. That was Martino. Gregory is on. He often calls in from the match, and he just said yes. So he's enjoying it.
Yes, back to you.
You would do the same, Barry, wouldn't you?
I'm going back home to shut the curtains and sit in a dark room. That's what I'm going to be doing.
2-1 to Celtic at the end. Just looking at some of the key players and the key moments this afternoon. Undoubtedly, quite a few people are talking about Alistair Johnson staying on the pitch, but on one of the cases it was offside, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so
the penalty kick one, but we didn't realise that either.
No,
we all think it could be a penalty kick here, but they were saying all of a sudden Rangers were offside. But that's what I'm saying, it's going away back to VAR and whatever, and we were wondering why they didn't check that. But obviously they made the right decision. If he's offside, sure, that's fine. Then he gets away with one in the second half, and there's no getting away from that. If the referee's given the free kick, if he's given a free kick for an elbow, then he's got to make a decision, the referee. And listen, we could talk about that's why people get frustrated, because you don't know what's right and what's the wrong decisions nowadays. And then Rangers, as I say, with Sterling overrunning it, or with Greg Taylor, he's had could have been a second booking for him. So it equals itself out, but we don't look at it that way, because Celtic could have been a man down first or whatever. So we talked about it prior to the match. They're the small details that can make a hell of a difference.
I'm going to be critical of VAR on the Alistair Johnson one. They've got to come out straight away and stop everybody saying, oh, it's a definite penalty, and say right away the reason why it wasn't given as a penalty is because it was offside. Let it run until half time before they actually announced the reason why it was.
They gave a back kick as well, but that's the thing, they gave a back kick.
Because it was a penalty, but obviously when you see it back, Seamer's definitely offside.
Of course, yeah. You're right, it blows up on social media. I think that's the phrase.
My phone went into meltdown, and I'm like, it's a definite penalty then.
I was just you phoning yourself.
Just looking at some of the notes, first half, it was kind of 50-50 at the beginning, but the highlights were a Bernardo header, remember, it went wide, and then Maeda on Kyogo, but it was offside. Who else? Bernardo he hit the side netting, so that was after 23 minutes. And then 2 minutes later, the first strike was that O'Reilly played it through to Paulo Bernardo. And Peter, if anyone missed it, how did he take his strike?
His strike was fantastic. You can't hit it any sweeter, Paul. And I don't know if it's something Celtic worked on, because it was the right footer obviously taking the corner in Palmer, but Bernardo starts in at the back post area, but then comes round the back end of it and gets into that area, whether that's for being over hit or whatever, but he finds himself in 5-6 yards of space, and Barry will tell you, as a coach, you're pulling your hair out, because if somebody's got that amount of time in your box. But he's hit it as sweet as you can hit a ball, and a fantastic finish for the kid. And listen, he thoroughly deserved it, because as Barry spoke about earlier in the match, he'd made some good runs into the box. I thought he'd intercepted play well, and I think his passes forward were good. So I think he should be pleased with his all-round performance.
The yellow cards were mounting for Celtic. Alistair Johnson, Paulo Bernardo for the celebrations, and Matt O'Reilly. You weren't happy about that, about the celebration being... I mean, look, I get it, but, you
listen,
scored.
I understand 100%. If people are getting injured, I understand.
Sure.
If you run to an away support or something, okay, I can accept a yellow card if you're inciting trouble. But the fact he's run to his own supporters, yes, we don't want people injured or hurt or anything like that, for sure, I understand that. But you've got to understand it's the hardest thing in football. And scoring in the Celtic Rangers match, God almighty, I know what I'd have been. I don't think I'd have been at the side of the pitch. I think I'd have been in the crowd, never mind anything else.
You'd still be celebrating.
Absolutely.
Then a key moment, Stephen Welsh went off injured, on came Nawrocki, and then McCausland came close for Rangers. Went in at half-time, 1-0 Celtic. Start of the second half, Rangers had the momentum going in at half-time, and suddenly, out of nowhere, a minute and 17 seconds in, Kyogo and Barry took it so well, didn't he?
Yeah, and listen, that's the worst possible start for Rangers, conceding soon as kick-off happens. But as I said, look, it's a good goal, brilliant movement, brilliant finish. Rangers will be It hurt Rangers. You could tell that they suffered for about 10 or 15 minutes after that, but they got themselves together after actually Balogun got sent off, and they made a fight of it. The one thing about the Rangers team, and they never gave up, and that's important. Tavernier with a good goal, and they could have maybe have got that equaliser in the end, but listen, it was too much in the end. As I said, it's a disappointing day for Rangers, but listen, you can't go back in the bus and feel sorry for yourself. What you need to do is dust yourself down as quickly as possible and get ready for Tuesday's game.
Yeah, Tuesday 3 o'clock, Rangers against Kilmarnock. Celtic 5 o'clock, St Mirren they're playing, and it's all for nothing, Peter, isn't it, in a way, if Celtic don't win the next game?
Listen, that's what Celtic have got to do now. Celtic have got to go and win every game, because we've let ourselves down against teams you wouldn't expect, and that's not been disrespectful. You've let yourself down in their games, home matches, you've dropped big points. You have to look after their games to win leagues, because the Celtic Rangers games always sort of a look after themselves. I've always said that, but the other games you have to win, and they become so vital. I said that when Clement came in, that he would need to win all the games up to now. He'd done that. Celtic managed to punch him on the nose the day and say, no, we're here as champions and we're going to stay here as champions. And that's what you do when you're champions. You can win games where you've maybe not played at your best, and that's what you've got to dig in and do. And that's what Celtic players, maybe we talked about it prior to it, 6 or 7 of them had already been over the course before, and that sometimes can help you when you need that big experience. But at times Rangers never gave in, I'll give them that, and I just felt Celtic brought that pressure on themselves in the second half when they didn't need to. They should have seen the game out more comfortable, and that'll be the thing that will have disappointed Brendan. The fact that when the cold light of day, manager and player and supporter alike were all delighted with the result, because these games are all about winning.
Peter and Barry, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure, Paul.
Cheers,
Back
Paul.
again on
Good
Tuesday.
night.
Yeah, enjoy.
Good night, I'm going to my bed.
Have a good new year when it comes.
You too.
Enjoy
Same with you.
the rest of the day. We're back on Tuesday at 5.
The Go Radio Football Show with Global Eco Energy. For your free energy home survey and bespoke quote, call 0800 233 5788.
Let's go! Global Eco Energy are your renewable energy specialists. Working with Eco4 and Home Energy Scotland to offer grants and funding, we specialise in heat pump, solar and battery installations, as well as internal, external and cavity wall insulation. Prices starting from as little as £4,995 for solar PV and from £8,995 for a heat pump installation. For a free quote, free survey and to find out more about grants and funding options, call 0800 233 5788.